The Chris Tyson situation just got so much worse, with new serious allegations and over 500,000 leaked messages from her Discord server that not only incriminate Chris Tyson, but also raise suspicions on MrBeast's level of involvement in their controversy. On the 24th of July 2024, user Nathan W., who previously called out Chris for her inappropriate relations with him when he was just 15 years old, would post a tweet claiming that he would be releasing an archive containing over 500,000 messages from her Discord server that would display Chris's alleged strange and not safe for work behavior around children.
Ava Chris Tyson's Discord server leaks are getting dropped in a little less than an hour. Now keep in mind, this server was scrubbed clean before it went public, and this is the result of after the Great Cleansing, as Lava called it.
Later that day, the archive would be made public, and internet users, including myself, would begin to scrape the data to find evidence for or against Chris. Before we read any of these messages, Twitter user CopenSeath would make a post sharing the alleged ages of the people involved in the conversations, with the estimated age being 14.25, but also going as low as allegedly 11 years old. With that being said, let's take a look at some of the strange messages allegedly being sent, starting with evidence Chris may have been sharing feet pictures, with a message reading, "Buy my feet pics," with someone responding, "That's illegal," and another user saying, "Nasty feet, boy." There would also be evidence backing up underage users calling Chris dad, with messages reading, "Chris, are there any big boys in the chat? Nathan, hi dad, yes." What's even more disturbing is Chris would ask a user to prove if she was a lolly, a term used for young girls in an erotic manner. Chris says she's a lolly, never proved it, I think not, with Chris later saying, "FBI has joined the chat." If you thought this was bad, Chris would even go as far as sharing his personal Snapchat and referring to underage users in the server as quote lollies, with messages reading, "My personal snap is Tyson NOSYT, but I won't add anyone back who doesn't like anime," with another message reading, "Lol, jealous lolly is jealous," and that user replying stating, "I will literally blank your ass." One can only wonder what Chris was sending to these kids in private, but even from what she posted in public, it doesn't look good, with more screenshots revealing Chris role-playing inappropriately with minors, reading, "Uwu unzips blank," as well as "Uwu licks blank," and "nuzzles peen." Chris also allegedly claimed to have posted nudes in the NSFW channel, with a message reading, "Just put my nudes in NSFW." If this evidence wasn't enough, I would create a thread on the 28th of July going through some horrible moments I personally found in the archive, including one featuring MrBeast, with Chris stating, "At tags, I have a crush on you." Another user replying stating, "At Chris, I want your blank," with Chris replying, "You can have it right now," as well as another message tagging Chris stating, "How dare you assault my state, now get your holes ready," with Chris replying, "Calm your she blank down." There would also be another really weird message of Lava tagging Chris saying he has a massive blank. If this wasn't already some of the most disgusting screenshots you've seen, Chris was found allegedly linking Shadman's site featuring drawn CP directly to the server. This pattern of behavior would also be backed up 2 years later, with another screenshot quoting, "Refreshing Shadbase daily lol," which sets in stone just how degenerate Chris has been. In this next screenshot, MrBeast would get involved, with user Discount Milk stating, "His blank isn't big enough, I'd know," with MrBeast replying, "No, I know his blank size, and it's huge," with another user stating, "MrBeast, are you gay? That moment you deep throat a whole blank," with Discount Milk stating, "I'll deep throat Chris's blank," with Chris replying, "Haha, MrBeast joins in to comment on my blank size, I love it." For those wondering if this was actually MrBeast and not an impersonator, not only would Nathan confirm that this was really him, but Twitter user Doesn't Matter would create a thread proving why this was MrBeast with evidence, reading, "A small thread on how this is 100% MrBeast, and why the community note is incorrect. The account that posted this had its user ID leaked in the chat logs. The account had Chris's friend role. Keep in mind, user IDs never change, even after the name changes." With that info, you can look up the user ID on sites such as discordlookup.com, where this website tells you if the account is still active and has a new name. This account used to own the server, before the account the community note mentions took over. This account also had his official accounts linked to it. Here's a screen recording of that. You cannot link accounts that you cannot log into. So now that we have established that this was MrBeast involved, let's continue to look into the messages, with more from Chris indicating some sort of alleged attraction to 14-year-olds. Chris, she is only 14. Damn, with an attachment link. And another user stating, "If she's 14, I'm 14. Not only did this server include a not safe for work channel, but Chris would also be seen asking if gore should be allowed, stating, "Should God be allowed in NSFW, or should it only be blank?" It seems the depravity in Chris's server got to a point where other users would refer to themselves as lollygods. At Chris the Meme God, lollygod is back. Chris would also state, "I would love to be able to flip between genders whenever I wanted to." With there being over 500,000 messages leaked, these are just the tip of the iceberg. Following the leaks, user Lava, who previously came to Chris's defense, would post a tweet sharing his story, as well as calling out Chris's IRL friend, Disturbed Milk, who was seen in the screenshots heavily engaging inappropriately with minors, where Lava would quote, "fight tooth and nail with Chris to get him banned." If things weren't bad enough for Chris already, on the 30th of July, Dramalert would post a tweet stating, "Chris Tyson's leaked NSFW Discord channel logs are going to be released to the public soon. The previous leak did not include this channel, which is said to be the most damning. There are allegations that minors had access to this channel." But things would take a turn for the worse, when Nathan would respond to Keemstar stating he never had the NSFW leaks to begin with. Update: my last tweet about us having the NSFW log from Chris Tyson's server was incorrect. I misinterpreted and didn't properly validate the information I read before making my statement. I apologize for the confusion, it was not my intent to spread misinformation. Where Keemstar would respond accusing Nathan, the previous victim of Chris, of being paid off. In a tweet reading, he said he was dropping the Chris Tyson NSFW channel logs in a tweet and in an interview today. Now he's saying he doesn't have them. This don't smell right. Someone got paid off. This bold accusation would be met by a response from Nathan, stating, "I don't think MrBeast would pay someone off," after they already released hundreds of thousands of messages thoroughly proving their best friend / co-star is a blank. Despite his response, Nathan would receive mass harassment from Keemstar's fans, who were convinced he had been paid off by MrBeast. However, according to Nathan, the misinformation regarding the NSFW channel getting leaked was simply due to an error in communication. So I reached out to Nathan to verify these claims and get his side of the story.
Hi, I'm Nathan, known as Brain Freak Online. I'm one of the people who helped leak Chris's Discord server. I wanted to give my statement about what happened on Sunday regarding the Chris Tyson NSFW logs that were announced to be released by myself and why they were never released. I had actually slept in the morning that I announced the NSFW logs. I was scheduled to be on a live podcast that morning and I was rushing to get into it when I was checking my notifications, at which point I saw messages in a group chat I'm in with the people who downloaded the logs from Chris's server, as well as the people who were doing the tech side of things with the website, and they were talking about the NSFW channel. And they had sent a screenshot of it, but they were saying if we have it, referencing the NSFW channel, not we have it. And I was skimming over the messages, I was completely exhausted, I had just woken up, and I completely misinterpreted what these messages were saying. Then I later went on to genuinely believe we had the NSFW channel. However, I was completely mistaken. It was miscommunication on my part, and I should have double checked my sources. I've been doing my best at being as transparent as possible and only bringing the truth to light about this situation. So I do apologize to anyone that I let down who thought this information was gonna come out. I wanna end this video off by saying I've never been paid by MrBeast and I never will be. I would never allow money to buy my silence, especially when it comes to a topic this serious. I wanna make that very clear.
Along with the Discord leaks, there would also be another alleged victim who would come forward with extremely serious SA allegations. Something to note before we get into them is that the account who made the statements, Muskina, is also one of the 3 accounts followed by Chris Tyson's private accounts, indicating that they are connected in some way. I was blank assaulted by Ava Tyson, and here's my story. For context, Ava and I are both adults and we met each other as adults. Ava followed me on Twitter in November of 2022, after seeing my transition timelines on Twitter when I had under 500 followers. We started messaging each other every day through Twitter. She confided in me that she thought my results from HRT were amazing, and that she was planning on getting HRT soon to transition herself. As someone who follows online culture, content, and streaming, I was overwhelmed by emotions with being trusted with this secret, and information that I knew would be huge news. As a transgender woman who publicly transitioned a month earlier, I genuinely could not believe that something so amazing had happened to my life after I'd been through so much. Eventually, we talked about me potentially working for MrBeast, and she told me that she was sure she could get me in a video. She was the most famous person to ever show me that type of attention, and she immediately started love bombing me and making me feel like I'm the most important person in her life. Within the first few weeks of us talking, she told me that she told her therapist about the positive impact I was making on her life, and that she told her friends about me. She quickly moved our conversation to Snapchat. While I was under the impression that she was working on getting me in a video, we started having video chats on Discord. Ava asked me to blank with her on video call multiple times, and I always felt like I had to say yes if I wanted to be in a video or get a job. On one occasion, she asked me to join a video call and asked me to blank even though she knew I wasn't feeling well, which led to me joining and puking after a few minutes. Our conversations always leaned in the direction of affectionate and blank, and she sent me a lot of blank explicit Snapchats, messages, photos, and videos. Our relationship was very confusing to me, and I didn't fully realize I was being coerced at the time. She eventually flew me out to her home in Greenville with a one-way ticket while I was still under the impression that she would be getting me in a video with MrBeast. The first night at her house, she told me to sit up in her bedroom as I would be sleeping there with her. I thought that this was potentially the beginning of a relationship. When we went to bed together that night, we ended up cuddling and kissing, which led to her taking her clothes off and asking for oral blank from me. I went down on her expecting to engage in blank that would be reciprocated, but when I was done, she made it clear that she did not want to return any blank favors to me. I was hoping that would not be the case next time we hooked up, and I believed we would be moving to something more mutual. Over the course of the next week, Ava engaged me blank and ended up receiving oral pleasure several times, but she never reciprocated any of the blank favors in return. When I was done, I was too scared to directly ask for anything in return, and she took advantage of that. The day she first posted publicly that she was on HRT was also the first week I was there. After making her post, Jimmy called her later that night, while Ava was receiving oral blank from me. She answered the phone and had that conversation with Jimmy while I continued to perform oral on her. I was again given access to very private information, which made me feel special, something that happened consistently through our relationship. After almost a week, I was really starting to feel used and confused about everything. While I was there, I found out through a conversation between Ava, myself, and her friend that she did not have the ability to cast anyone in a MrBeast video. I eventually asked Ava to buy me a ticket home and flew home the next day. Leaving Ava's house was incredibly difficult to process emotionally after that week. I remember trying to hold myself together while traveling so that I wouldn't break down in public. When I got home, I spent the rest of the night crying uncontrollably without fully understanding what happened to me. Ava and I remained in contact, but she did not show me the same level of attention and affection as she did before I spent a week with her. This was the first time we went through the cycle of her love bombing me, using me, falling for someone else, treating me like I'm an annoying jealous ex, then coming back to me when things didn't work out. Shortly after that first week, she went on a work trip to Japan and invited someone else, but things did not turn out the way she expected. She was upset and flew back early from her trip, and she also offered me a job as her assistant and offered me to move in with her. I quit my job that month and moved in with her on June 16th and began working that day. During this trial period and my employment, Ava continued to receive oral blank from me multiple times, and I started to feel like I was being coerced. Because I started feeling that way, I decided to try and avoid any physical engagement between Ava and I that could lead to more one-sided blank acts. I took a short trip to my home state at the end of July and returned on July 28th. When I got back, I continued to do my best to avoid anything physically blank between Ava and I. On July 29th, we were watching TV together alone in her living room. With no warning, prior physical engagement, or blank conversation, she took her pants off and started touching herself in front of me. I had just moved in with Ava and left my job to come work as her assistant. In no way, shape, or form did I feel like I could say no without somehow risking my job or being asked to leave. She used that against me in order to receive non-consensual oral blank. This was the moment that truly broke me for the first time. Nothing was enjoyable, I felt it would never end, and my entire body just hurt from performing the act. It took me a few days to accept what happened. Unfortunately, I was dealing with all these emotions while on a work trip traveling the country and spending most of my time with people I had just met. The trip itself was very isolating as an employee, and there were several times where I broke down crying, and I spent the entire drive crying but trying to be as quiet as possible so that I didn't bother anyone. I then had to wait and board an overnight flight from Boston to Los Angeles, and when I boarded the plane, I decided to send Ava a message on Telegram sharing my concerns with her. I tried to do so carefully and navigate the conversation in a way that would stop me from being blank assaulted again, but allow me to keep my job. Ava was very manipulative in her response and follow-up conversations we had in person once we'd got to our hotels. We agreed not to have blank anymore, if that's how I felt about what happened. The alleged victim would continue to document her side of the story, leading up to her being fired from her role and sending a complaint to HR regarding the SA, where Chris would find out and respond to her saying, "Wow, Jess," and blocking her. Something worth noting is that there didn't seem to be any conclusive evidence of SA taking place, and a lot of internet users have come come to the conclusion that this statement sounds like it could be coming from a jaded ex who is sharing negative experiences of being involved in a one-sided relationship without established boundaries. So take from that what you will. But the Chris Tyson situation did not stay as a side controversy. It became one of the first major cracks in the MrBeast empire. Ava Chris Tyson from the MrBeast channel is currently facing one of the worst downfalls of all time, with several disturbing and credible allegations being made against her, resulting in MrBeast firing her from his team and publicly denouncing her disgusting and predatory behavior. Ava Chris Tyson, formerly known as just Chris Tyson, was a longtime friend and collaborator of Jimmy Donaldson, better known as MrBeast. Their relationship extended back to childhood, with the two even sharing living quarters as roommates. Tyson would go on to become a key part of the MrBeast channel and even the co-host of MrBeast Reacts. Whilst Chris Tyson had a successful career being featured on YouTube's largest channel, the controversy surrounding them began in 2023, when YouTuber SunnyV2 would upload a controversial video titled "Why Chris Will Soon Be a Nightmare for MrBeast," where in the video he would criticize and speculate on Chris's transformation, with claims of Chris abandoning their wife and kid in the pursuit of being transgender, as well as the impact it could have had on the bro dynamic of MrBeast's content at the time.
Maybe everybody was simply too busy opening packages, but Chris did make these bizarre jokes about Jimmy being female, making him incredibly uncomfortable.
Oh my god, Jimmy, look, they drew you. Jimmy, they drew you so well. It looks just like you.
Oh, yes.
Oh my god, it's Jimmy.
How did fan art? This is what we were looking for. Be brave, be honest, be kind. MrBeast. That is my tactic.
The video would be widely criticized and even garner a response from MrBeast himself, reading, "Yeah, this is getting absurd. Chris isn't my nightmare, he's my friend and things are fine. All this transphobia is starting to piss me off." While SunnyV2 would receive backlash for this video and later change the title to "How Will the Chris Tyson Situation Impact MrBeast?", it wouldn't be long before Tyson was once again embroiled in controversy. The first major blow to Tyson's reputation came with the discovery of her old Reddit account username TysonBoy34 after a user called her a slur, with tweets reading, "Old Chris would have called you a blank," with Chris responding saying, "The old me was a blank too," showing a screenshot which displayed the username TysonBoy34. This account, definitively being linked to Tyson through references of being MrBeast's roommate and other identifying details, revealed a disturbing pattern of behavior. In now deleted comments, archives from this account show very strange interactions, such as, "Why the fuck do you use your VR headset for anything other than 3D lolly gang porn?" And what's even more weird is that Chris would comment this under an image featuring teenagers. "But you can still get teen love. 14-year-olds always stay 14. Lenny face." For those unaware, lolly is essentially drawn cheese pizza, not safe for work artwork featuring characters that are clearly minors. And when the situation already seems bad, it gets so much worse. One of the most damning and disgusting elements of the Chris Tyson controversy was her association with and support for the notorious artist Shadman. To fully grasp the gravity of the situation, it's important to know who Shadman was and why his connection to Chris Tyson is so disturbing. Shadman, real name Shaddai Progene, is a Swiss-born artist infamous for his highly controversial artwork. While attending art school in Switzerland, Shadman was expelled and reportedly deemed a quote menace to society due to the nature of his artwork, which included depictions of underage individuals in NSFW situations. Throughout his career, Shadman consistently pushed boundaries, creating severely degenerate content that ranged from that safe work artist of his own mother to art of animator Ed Gold being by the Grim Reaper just a day after he passed away from cancer. But if you thought that was horrible, what Shadman was most notorious for was his disturbing artwork featuring real children. From Keemstar's daughter, who was 7 years old at the time, to YouTuber Lieutenant Corbus, who was just 11 years old at the time. These deranged actions led to legal threats and his website being dropped by its host provider, with a tweet from Shadman stating, "I'm in some legal issues until further notice. Won't be active online till this is solved. Shadbase is offline. I'll try my best to change that." Whilst Chris has gone on to try and cover up any and all evidence of her behavior, archives of their interactions exist and are still accessible today, such as Chris's comment on Pixar Incredibles 2 film trailer, which featured a baby in the thumbnail reading, "Shadman is going to love this," as well as a tweet stating that she had accidentally opened his site on stream, reading, "Shout out to Shadbase for having safe for work drawings today. Accidentally pulled up his website on stream," as well as another tweet asking Shad to draw an underage character from a TV show, reading, "Please Shad, please." On the 17th of July 2024, YouTuber Adros would publish a video connecting the dots.
How are Ava and Shadman linked? Well, the answer to this is another drawing by Shadman. It depicts a young girl wearing a "Please be patient, I have autism" cap, pointing a gun at her mouth. She has a fidget spinner as an earring and a spade tattoo on her thigh that says BBC, which we all know what it means. On November 18th, 2017, Ava responded to a tweet from Grande and MrBeast stating, "This is coming from a guy who owns a Shad-based drawing and has it as a centerpiece in his living room." Just some time later, they also posted the exact same drawing laid on the floor with the caption, "Bonus fidget spinners to throw some extra autism."
But this is where things get even more disgusting. This artwork was featured in an actual MrBeast video, where in a video titled "Tipping Pizza Delivery Guys $10,000, the degenerate artwork could be seen in the background. Whilst the scene has now been cut from the video following the controversy, it's also worth noting that MrBeast had interacted with a Shadman tweet after being tagged by Chris in July of 2018, in tweets reading, "Lol, just a random at MrBeast YT meme on Shad, love it," with a reply from MrBeast stating, "This is all we've ever wanted, we can quit now." It's safe to say that Chris's support of Shadman was consistent and enthusiastic, despite widespread knowledge of Shadman's controversial and often illegal content. With this information coming to light, there was a widespread concern for the potential danger she may pose to MrBeast's young viewer base, which caused internet users to dig even deeper, where they found even more strange and weird interactions Chris had involving minors or a dig to not safe for work materials, with messages stating, "Nothing gets my knob cranking like some lolly. It ain't porn unless it's got a sheep," as well as, "Ah yes, this will make a fine addition to my collection." In light of Chris's dark side finally being exposed, several minors came forwards with their weird interactions with her, painting a picture that Chris frequently befriended minors and used strange language like dad or daddy with them. Keep in mind, Chris was a fully grown adult throughout all these interactions, and the people he's talking to are all young minors. Texts from 2018 between me and Chris: "I was 14, he was roughly 22. Lol, did the school expel him? Kissing emojis. Of course, dad. This is the best Snapchat I've ever seen. Haha, when it's your wedding, you can do whatever you want. Lol." This screenshot would be backed up by video evidence of the user going through their chat log and proving it was indeed Chris's account. To make matters worse, Twitter account Gunt News would also share a recording of Chris discussing explicit topics, whilst in a call allegedly involving at least one minor.
I know, dude, I would inside of that egg and then watch her eat it, and then watch her have with another man while she comments about how my genitalia can never satisfy her.
On the 14th of June 2024, user Prism42 would upload a video to YouTube titled, "Chris Tyson talked inappropriately to a 13-year-old. Throughout the video, Prism would go through old chat logs of Chris and a creator named LavaGS. For context, Lava was a hardcore 13-year-old MrBeast fan who got in contact with the MrBeast team after winning a giveaway for a signed CSGO knife. Throughout these interactions, Chris would get in touch with Lava and begin their communication, which led to Lava becoming a chat mod, and even being featured in a MrBeast gaming video.
Lava, Pluto, assemble!
Hi, how are you?
I need you to make this 10 times harder.
How hard do you want it, Jimmy?
Hard.
During Prism's video, he would document both their public and private interactions that happened whilst Lava was underaged. "I get weird snap from Chris. He's a different man off camera is all I can say," which featured an image of Chris standing under the American flag with the caption, "Coming for America," as well as a tweet from Chris reading, "One more Patreon and I'm releasing my nudes," where Lava would respond stating, "I'm your first Patreon, big boy," where Chris would reply, "But not $5, pathetic, JK, kissing emojis," where the conversation would presumably end with Chris stating, "I just posted some fire nudes for you, please no share." All these interactions would eventually culminate in Lava meeting up with Chris in 2020. Whilst Prism would claim that Chris was grooming Lava, Lava would come forward with a different story and response to the situation, with a Keemstar tweet reading, "MrBeast connected me directly to Lava, the alleged Chris Tyson groomed victim. Lava, I was not groomed by Chris Tyson. I did not meet Chris Tyson by myself. I met Chris and the MrBeast crew with my family present. I ran a Discord with Chris Tyson when I was 13, and edgy inappropriate jokes were said, that's it." A tweet from Nicholas Diorio would also bring Prism42's reliability and morals into question, as he was found out to be using invasive tactics to try and get more information, with the tweet reading, "So the guy who made the Chris Tyson messaged minors video faked a job interview to ambush the alleged victim and confront them. When questioned, he started comparing himself to Project Veritas. Umberville created a great video on the subject titled, 'Ava Chris Tyson situation is disgusting,' where he would get in touch with Lava, who would share even more strange interactions with the YouTuber Prism42.
So Prism reached out to Lava for an interview under the guise of it being for an editing job for a creator that wished to remain anonymous. He also offered compensation for the interview, but supposedly never asked for the context regarding the interactions between Lava and Ava, or if it was okay to publish the video. Prism also didn't ask Lava any questions that could invalidate the claims that he made in the video. That makes it even worse, I think. When Prism said he was going to keep Lava anonymous, then he shows his name and Instagram page, which Lava has since had to private, which is incredibly unfortunate.
A comment exchange between Prism and Lava would read, "This video is not true and disgusting. Ava has never done anything wrong, and for you to make up all these lies and create this narrative is just wrong. Also, when you interviewed me for a supposed editing job, why did you lie? So you can take clips out of context, this is disgusting." Where Prism responded stating, "Care to comment why when you were 14 and Chris was 20 to 21, you and Chris Tyson had bro talk where he was joking about sending you nudes and flirting with you on Twitter?" Mudaha from Some Ordinary Gamers would reach out to Lava to ask more questions, where Lava would attempt to clear Chris's name once again, reading, "I was never sent anything explicit or ever asked to send anything explicit. I'm not a victim of grooming, and if I was, I would have already come forward. I'm on the internet way more than an average person, and have seen multiple instances of people actually getting groomed. I am not one of them. Please stop using my name to attack someone." Along with this, Lava would put out a tweet calling out creators who were talking about the situation, reading, "These videos are massive lies and twisting the truth. Ava never did anything wrong and just made a few edgy jokes. I was never exploited or taken advantage of. Can you do me a favor and comment on these videos and tell them to stop spreading lies? This situation takes away from children who are actively being exploited every day online. I'm not a victim of anything being claimed in these videos, or at all." Something to note is that the videos featured in the tweet were posted by Sensitive Society and Achido, and both videos that never even mentioned Lava to begin with. On top of this, many commenters would insist that Lava was indeed groomed and simply didn't realize it, with comments reading, "You've been groomed, man. You're a victim. You don't have to protect these people. That's called grooming. You're not supposed to feel like it was wrong." As well as, "You are a victim whether you think so or not. Chris should be held accountable for his disgusting actions." Whilst Lava would eventually apologize to both Achido and Sensitive Society, he would also call for YouTube to take down videos discussing the situation, which would result in more backlash in the comments, with a comment from Smaggle reading, "You can't mass brigade and send everyone to take down these videos, even in the apology. Why do you do this to yourself?" Whilst Lava was adamant that it was never groomed in any way by Chris, another user by the name of Nathan W would come forwards with some harrowing allegations on the 25th of July 2024.
Chris Tyson from MrBeast used me, manipulated me, and did very inappropriate things with me while I was about 15 years old. I was actually friends with Lava GS at the time, who is the main victim of Chris that everyone has been talking about these last few days, who claims he isn't a victim, but we all know he is, and we all know he probably got paid off. Not only that, but he's also under an NDA from when he worked for MrBeast Gaming for 2 years, and he tried to get me to join MrBeast Gaming himself, Lava. He's the one who actually sent me the contract and tried to get me to sign the NDA, at which point I ended our friendship because I knew they were just trying to silence me. Me and him were both initially involved in running Chris's Discord server, helping him set up his Twitch streams and moderating them, as well as other technical back-end things that he needed help with. This Discord server that we were a part of had about 10 people in it, most of whom were minors. I'm not sure how they got in there, other than me and Lava. He won a giveaway and Chris invited him after that, and Chris invited me after I saw one of his tweets asking for help setting up a Garry's Mod server for the 10 million subscriber MrBeast video. This turned into us having lots of private conversations with Chris and playing video games with him for hours on end. Not only did we do a lot of unpaid work for him that he promised he would pay us for, he would also frequently bring up sexual topics that was definitely not appropriate to bring up around 15, 16-year-olds, especially with him being like, I don't know, 20, 21 years old. He would even go as far as linking me several different corn and hen videos throughout the time of me talking with him. Not only that, but he had an NSFW bot in his Discord server before he made it public. So when it was just a private server, his little circle of minors. And he would use this NSFW bot to spam different corn images, alongside all these 15-year-olds. He would also frequently call me dad and daddy, as well as the others, which I guess we all kind of just took as a joke at the time. You have to think this is someone who we looked up to at the time, we idolized, we thought was the coolest person in the world, so they couldn't really do any wrong in our eyes. But looking back, I was definitely uncomfortable at being called daddy by a 20-year-old. Even just thinking about it now, it's just uncomfortable. This server later went public and became his official Discord server, but before it did, he had me and Lava spend multiple days scrubbing this Discord server clean of all of the N-words he had sent in it, as well as his friends, as well as deleting the NSFW channels and making sure no one could see that he was spamming corn to minors. This story is so much bigger and runs so much deeper than any of you really realize, so if you want to hear more and you want a part 2, let me know.
Under Drama Alert's repost of Nathan's video, Lava would state this. Yes, I know him. A lot of the statements he made in that video about me are completely untrue. I was friends with him, we played games together and worked on the Discord. He was later removed from the Discord because of how unstable he was. He would lash out and verbally attack other members of the team. I never sent him any contract and have not been under any NDA since 2022. I have not received any payment nor any of my socials monetized. I did inform him that he might be offered a job to help work in Minecraft videos around the time I was, but this never happened. We did not scrub the Discord clean of racist remarks or porn. We did convert the Discord from a private one to a public in a day. After it had been made public, this involves setting up moderation bots and channel permissions. We also had never done unpaid work. At no point was there any agreement that we would be paid for anything we worked on. Nathan has since deleted his Discord messages between me and him. He also deleted his original Discord account. Nathan was more involved with Jake the Viking. Here is a video with Nathan in it and being tagged as the editor, where Nathan would respond stating, "Actually, I left the server on my own accord. Yes, I was unstable. Yes, I lashed out on people. However, I was never removed by anyone. I left the server because it was a toxic dumpster of Discord mods running around yelling at each other. Also, you did send me a contract. You literally sent me a MrBeast gaming contract and told me I'd have to sign an NDA also. At which point, I cut ties with you. The server was scrubbed days before going public. Many know about this. We literally had to use the Discord search feature to search for all the slurs and delete them, and remove the not safe for work bot and channel. This is all real truth. Lava is trying to backpedal and cover for them hard. To add credibility to his side, Nathan would post another video sharing proof before the Discord server was wiped.
This is part 2 to yesterday's video of me talking about Ava Chris Tyson and what they did to me when I was 15 years old. This video has all the proof in it, all the receipts, and all the screenshots, thanks to an old friend of mine who was a moderator in Chris's Discord server at the time, Cookie. Now, Cookie actually went ahead and downloaded logs of all the individual channels on Chris's server before it went public, knowing that this was kind of being covered up, and he kept the logs of it for himself. He actually reached out to me here on Twitter, and I'm gonna provide a lot of the screenshots backing up the claims that I made that Lava refuted. For example, I made a claim that there was an NSFW channel in the server where Chris would spam corn. Here you can see Chris talking about locking down the NSFW channel to True Gods and Anointed only. By the way, this is in 2019. I was a True God and I was a minor. Not only that, but you can see me right below it, Nathan.rtx, saying this is a bad idea. So even I knew as a kid that this was a really bad idea. Here is Lava himself talking about starting the commencement of cleaning the server, word for word. I said he was talking about scrubbing the server. He says that never happened. Here you can see him talking about it, as well as me and Cookie himself talking about it. I just want to make this video real quick, disproving some of the claims that Lava refuted and showing that they actually are true, but I actually have thousands of Discord messages to go through in these logs that I was just provided by Cookie. Shout out to him for giving me them, and I'm going to be going through them and posting an update video with some more proof.
After Nathan released the chat logs, Lava would seemingly fold, posting a tweet stating, "Based on the recent screenshots and messages, I would like to say a statement about the Discord. This was 5 or 6 years ago, and I thought I had a good memory of the situation, but I was wrong. After reading the chat logs, this stuff was inappropriate and wrong. I spoke based on my memory of the situation, and I still do not remember these conversations, but they definitely happened. These conversations should not have happened with people the age I was at the time. I strongly strongly condemn them. I still believe I'm not a grooming victim, but these conversations should not have happened with me and any other minor in this Discord. I was a minor in this situation and not an adult influencer who shouldn't have allowed this to happen. I did not see this was wrong at the time. Later that day, Lava would post another tweet on the situation, stating, "I appreciate everyone taking this tweet as me talking about everything I've stated about Ava Tyson. It is not. This is only about the Discord logs, and the reason I spoke on my memory being bad is I have thousands of conversations in this Discord. I did not speak to Ava 24/7 even before the Discord server. We spoke a few times a week, and that's why I'm able to remember what actually happened between me and her. I still believe the other allegations deserve to be investigated. I'm not defending the actions of Ava. Also, the quote, great cleansing is not related to the original cleansing the Discord statement Nathan made, and he knows about that. This great cleansing was years after the server went public. We were talking about scrubbing any word that might be against TOS so we could get a Discord partnership. This includes words like boomer, cunt, and others. Below is more logs from that Discord confirming that. I still do not remember the not safe for work channel stuff, but it's been proven to have existed from logs. Comments on the tweet would heavily criticize Lava, with comments reading, "Bro folded, Lemau. You clearly saw all the proof in the videos before you started defending Chris, saying it was all lies. And now you're trying to act like you didn't remember anything because the screenshots got leaked. You lied. You're a victim back then, and by defending him, you are now becoming a confidant. Stop it." As well as, why would you lie about the not safe for work channel not existing? You were literally trying to save Chris. It is messed up. To make matters even worse for Chris, a former MrBeast employee, Jake the Viking, would come forwards with several tweets on the situation, reading, "While we're at it, Chris should tell everyone how old the girl was who was snapping, that sent him his first ever pair of Gucci slides. And I ran a Discord server with Chris Tyson when I was 13 and edgy inappropriate jokes were said. That's it. Sending sexual jokes to a 13-year-old is not okay. Never has been, never will be. GG's to Lava for confirming the allegations." As well as, the silence is deafening. If this wasn't worse enough, another ex-MrBeast employee would come forwards with a video stating that MrBeast knew, and quote, "Chris was just the tip of the iceberg."
My name's Dawson. I worked at MrBeast from February to May of this year, 2024. Chris is the tip of the iceberg. And when Jake the Viking says MrBeast knew, yeah, MrBeast knew. I heard many times that Ava, Chris Tyson, is a major liability, but they can't get rid of her because she's already threatened legal action and she knows too much. And when all this information comes out about everything that she knew, everything other people know, I promise you on everything MrBeast is done. Amazon, if you can get your money back, get your money back.
With all this information coming forwards, online audiences began pressuring creators to give the same treatment to Chris as what was given to Dr. Disrespect, with a tweet from XQC reading, "I follow mostly only influential creators here. Yet most have been silent about the Chris Tyson situation. Pretty deviant behaviors across the board. Weirdo. Can't wait to read some of the cope justifications on why it wasn't addressed." Later that day, Chris Tyson would finally post a response to the situation, with a controversial non-apology reading, "I would like to apologize for any of my past behavior or comments if it hurt or offended anyone. It was not my intent. Seeing recent events, we've mutually decided it's best I permanently step away from all things MrBeast and social media to focus on my family and mental health. I want to add, I never groomed anyone. The person who gets brought up in these accusations, Lava GS, has vocally supported that they are false. Having said that, I humbly apologize to anyone I've hurt with my unacceptable social media posts or past actions, and for those who feel betrayed by how I used to act online. To lump these two factors together to create a narrative that my behavior extended beyond bad, edgy jokes is disgusting and did not happen. In past years, I have learned that my old humor is not acceptable. I cannot change who I was, but I can continue to work on myself. I don't want these accusations to impact the hundreds of people who work at MrBeast, which is why I've stepped away. This apology would be extremely poorly received from the online community, with replies reading, "If you're apologizing, are you saying all the allegations are true? Because that's what this statement appears to be suggesting. You belong in jail. Prison for you, as well as, see you never. Hope your ex-wife keeps you well away from that kid." Not only was Chris's apology barely even an apology, it also completely avoided directly addressing the Shadman situation and tried pulling the mental health card as an easy way out. However, later that day, MrBeast would publish a response that would not only contradict Chris's apology, but also ruin her career, with a tweet reading, "Over the last few days, I've become aware of the serious allegations of Ava Tyson's behavior online, and I am disgusted and opposed to such unacceptable acts. During that time, I've been focused on hiring an independent third party to conduct a thorough investigation to ensure I have all the facts. That said, I've seen enough online and taken immediate action to remove Ava from the company, my channel, and any association with MrBeast. I do not condone or support any of the inappropriate actions. I will allow the independent investigators the necessary time to conduct a comprehensive investigation and will take any further actions based on their findings. During this statement, it seemed like Jimmy was saying that he fired Ava Chris Tyson, and not that she left on her own volition as she tried to make it out to be. That being said, the response to MrBeast's tweet was largely positive, with replies stating, "You did what's best. Thanks MrBeast. Now back to improving the world one video at a time," as well as, "Imagine this is a weird/hard time for you. People forget that you're a real, living, breathing human. MrBeast is larger than life, and I understand why people hold you to the standard they do, but I hope you're doing okay. Can't be easy when this happens to a day one friend. Love." Despite the mostly positive reaction, there would also be those who believed Jimmy secretly knew the whole time, and were upset that he didn't take action earlier. Looking back on the original title of Sunny's video, whether he knew it or not, it seems like it ended up being true. Chris does indeed seem like a nightmare for MrBeast. And once that story pulled more attention towards MrBeast's inner circle, the wider backlash started accelerating. With each passing day, the mountain of allegations against MrBeast's empire only seems to be getting bigger, from accusations of covering up assault allegations.
I have heard multiple stories of Jimmy being directly informed of SA happening at the company and proactively working to keep it quiet,
to allegedly putting contestants through borderline horrific challenges.
I was like this, okay? And the only thing that was holding up this 200+ frame was the skin on the back of my thighs.
The MrBeast brand is without a doubt under more scrutiny than ever. But how true are these claims? Dogpack alleged MrBeast had engaged in manipulative business practices, conducted illegal lotteries, and faked videos. Dogpack would also interview another former MrBeast employee named Jake Weddle, who claimed Jimmy had put him through traumatic situations for money and hid a registered PDF file.
But that guy, from what I hear, I can't confirm or deny, from what I hear, he's on the registry for doing some not great stuff to some underage people, and they knew that. And he's working at a channel that has underage people on and around and is targeted to underage people. And they covered up the fact that not only did he work there, but he was like the manager when it all started.
According to Jake, the alleged PDF was called Delaware while he worked at MrBeast, and they concealed his identity whenever he appeared in videos.
He'll be in videos, he'll be in thumbnails, he'll be around, and whenever he is, he's wearing a mask. Why would you wear a mask? Why would you conceal your face? It's like, what are you concealing? That you are a registered sex offender? And that your face can be looked up on a thing? How much more can you literally cover up a sex offender with a physical mask? Like, do I have to, is it more on the nose, or?
Shortly after the release of Dogpack's second video, an internal email from MrBeast was supposedly leaked online, and revealed the company was making an effort to change things. Reading, "I wanted to update all of you on the recent concerns that have been raised online and in the press. We also asked them to expand the scope to include a full assessment of our internal culture and to investigate allegations of inappropriate behavior by people in the company. While the process is not complete, I have enough preliminary information at this point that I am announcing several changes today. While some would view this as a good step forward, others would see it as a PR stunt meant to sway the public opinion." The accusations of hiring a PDF naturally spread across the internet like wildfire, and Delaware's brother-in-law and former MrBeast employee would make a response on Twitter. In his response, Jake the Viking acknowledged his connection to Delaware and his registered offender status. With the focus now partially on Jake the Viking, users began looking at his time with the MrBeast brand a little more closely, and what they discovered was concerning at best and downright deplorable at worst. On the 12th of August 2024, a YouTuber by the name of Captain Howdy published a video titled "Why MrBeast Fired Jake the Viking." The video presented the idea that Jake wasn't honest about the reason he left the company, and claimed that his departure was because he was caught asking contestants for their winnings.
Alleged to us privately by ex-MrBeast employees that the real reason Jake was let go was that he attempted to coerce multiple contestants in this challenge into giving him large chunks of their winnings, much larger than the $100,000 share that he would have been entitled to if his contestant had won. This is a claim that we were unable to prove until we joined a YouTube livestream by Mantonice, a contestant who participated in these challenge videos and won the $1 million prize. We joined Mantonice's stream and asked him this.
Is it true that Jake the Viking was fired because he tried to guilt trip? Where is you getting your information from? Where is you getting this information from, Captain? Where the heck did you just get that information from?
Captain would later get some confirmation from the contestant, but couldn't confirm if that was the reason he left.
He asked you for any of the when you won? Well, he did ask me for some money. Yeah, he did. I don't know if that's why he got fired or not, but yeah, he did. I gave Jake some of my earnings, but yeah, that's some top information though.
However, by the 17th of August, in a now deleted response video, Jake the Viking would sidestep the allegations against him and his brother-in-law and focus on discrediting Jake Weddle.
I really didn't want to make this video. I've been sitting here for like 15-20 minutes just like, I don't want to do this because I don't want to turn into this just bitching back and forth between who I thought was a friend, Jake Weddle, and I. I'm calling you out because you can't keep my name out your mouth for whatever reason. I mean, you said it yourself, it's political in your first video.
Jake the Viking went on to narrate his side of the incident at Grandfather Mountain that saw the MrBeast crew leave various props and camera equipment behind after filming. From his perspective, Jake Weddle was at fault for trashing the mountain since he was directing the shoot.
And then we get a call saying that we were all going to have to do 24 hours community service, which we did. So we took care of that, and that's it. And that was the end of it. And so then we have Weddle coming out making it like a big deal, like it was all my idea, it was all my fault. And it's like, dude, you were the director of the set. If anyone knows, the director is the main guy in charge, which means you're also in charge of what everyone's doing, and also the setup and cleanup and breakdown of the set, and you just left. And so I don't know why you're coming to me. So and I just saw your video today where you said you ended my career. No, you didn't, bro. I've been doing this for the 4.5 years now since I got fired. I ain't going nowhere.
Something worth noting here is how Jake says he was fired from the MrBeast crew, when in the past he claimed it was a mutual decision.
I had shown up, you know, I had done everything I was asked to do. I did it to the best of my ability, but it was a mutual leaving. I had already I'd already told him multiple times, you know, what I wanted to do was kind of be my own boss, do my own thing.
While Jake the Viking was able to avoid any more scrutiny by deleting his video, it wouldn't be that easy for MrBeast, as he was about to face a whole new set of allegations. By the 29th of August 2024, Dogpack would upload another video titled MrBeast's Secret CEO, which outlines allegations not just against MrBeast himself, but the people he hired.
Okay, today I'm going to be covering MrBeast's secret CEO, James Warren, and his involvement in SA cover-ups, like the one including his best friend, LaKoya Hill, who also happens to be MrBeast's secret chief operating officer, or was. And then I want to touch on the man himself, Jimmy Donaldson.
Dogpack would also go on to allege that James Warren was a man with a short fuse and a history of physical violence, even going as far as claiming he'd been charged with domestic assault.
So just a quick profile on James Warren. He's Jimmy's cousin and secret CEO, and I say secret because, you know, they're not very open about that fact. Like he doesn't post about it on social media. It wasn't ever attached to his LinkedIn. He's never featured or really referenced anywhere. I heard that he's very aggressive. I've heard him referred to as a psychopath who screams at people and hits his girlfriends. There's allegedly domestic violence charges that were filed against him. And I say allegedly because it turns out there's a lot of people in North Carolina named James Warren who assault their girlfriends, I guess. So I'm still having people look into these cases, specifically that surprise witness on YouTube. She's been super helpful in behind the scenes, just submitting freedom of information requests and just helping me out a lot in general. She's super nice, super smart.
The accusations against James wouldn't stop there, as Dogpack presents claims of extreme workplace misconduct.
James Warren, also allegedly an ex-drug addict. I've heard that he offered cocaine and hookers to editors to stay late. And then the really big thing is that there was some incident between him and a female colleague that resulted in the female colleague leaving the company and receiving 3 years in severance pay. I'm still actively looking into this incident, so if you have information, let me know. But I've heard from multiple credible sources that this is true and this did happen.
Digging into James's work history further, Dogpack discovered his prior involvement with a real estate developer convicted of running a real estate Ponzi scheme.
Again, according to Sylvia's testimony, James Warren represented Mr. Hutchins as highly competent and capable. She continues on page 17. James Warren, the then realtor who recommended me to Hutchins, also encouraged us to work with Mr. Hutchins on trying to make it work. And we did, until it became very evident as to his apparent intent of complete fraud. So James appearing to sort of try to mediate this exchange, saying, hey, give him a chance, don't pursue him, don't sue him, just make it work, right? The real losses due to fraud are evident. Financially, he's devastated my retirement. I can only hope and thank the good Lord that I have a brain to be able to function and try to earn back as much as possible. The impact, over $1.3 million in real losses.
Following this, Dogpack would discuss the case of LaKoya Hill, who allegedly harassed and assaulted another employee at MrBeast.
In late 2021, he was allegedly fired for sexually assaulting his assistant. Now I put fired in quotation marks because he was actually quietly moved to the dubbing company, which was Unilingo at the time. Here is proof that he used the LaKoya at unilingo.tv email, links back to him, links to these photos, one of which was the profile picture for his YouTube channel, which also after my first video, his YouTube channel mysteriously got deleted. And at some point, his Twitter also got deleted. I don't know if that's when he sexually assaulted his assistant. I don't know if that's after my first video got posted. Either way, Booty Call Wednesdays are canceled. He was actually brought back to MrBeast in 2023 after sexually assaulting his assistant prior, and promoted to Chief Financial Officer, which is how I personally was introduced to him.
To support his claims, Dogpack brought up testimonies from supposed verified employees regarding LaKoya's time at the company.
I asked them, did you see or hear of any sexual misconduct at the company? They say, yes, LaKoya Hill, the current COO. In 2021, he had an assistant named victim's name. I heard LaKoya acted very inappropriately with victim, booking hotel rooms with only one bed, walking around in his underwear, having victim come to his house and showing him his sex toy collection. Just in general, LaKoya made victim uncomfortable. Victim started complaining to higher-ups and a report got written. LaKoya was put on paid leave for like a month. Then MrBeast moved him to the dubbing company and he was hired back in 2023 and was promoted to COO, even though Jimmy, James, and Sue 100% know his history. Also, I heard that when victim was let go, he was given $30,000 in severance.
Assault allegations weren't the only ones being thrown around, as another employee claimed LaKoya played a key role in stealing talent and secrets from another company.
Yeah, that'd be great. Also, is there proof he moved to the dubbing company? I could look, it was the original dubbing company called Unilingo. MrBeast practically forced them to hire LaKoya, and then they poached Unilingo's employees and copied their whole business and created Creator Global.
Although pressure from Dogpack's ongoing investigation forced MrBeast to remove LaKoya from his CCO position, there was still evidence that suggested otherwise.
Well, just on a whim, I decided to look into the Creator Global LinkedIn, and it had gone private to where everyone just shows up as a LinkedIn member, right? But I saw this, L, LinkedIn member, president of Creator Global. I thought, you know what, that's a little suspicious. So I reached out to one of my connections close to MrBeast and I said, hey, can you look into this account for me? Because sometimes if you have connections, you can see private LinkedIn accounts. And this is what they saw. LaKoya Hill, listed as the current president at Creator Global. No work history between graduating UNC in May 2001 and becoming the president at Creator Global in 2024. Dude, this is like the 3-cup game where you gotta like keep track of the pets and races as MrBeast just moves them between companies.
In addition to this, Dogpack shared a recording that was supposedly showing James asking an employee outside MrBeast to process a bonus for LaKoya, a move that could be seen as an attempt to keep LaKoya out of the MrBeast company documents.
Hey buddy, it's James. Sorry to be bothering you. I've done my absolute best not to bother you. But LaKoya had presented a bunch of stuff to me and Jimmy a little bit ago, all really great stuff. But he had asked me and Jimmy personally, he's like, hey, you know, can I have a $28,000 bonus for work I did in the past? And I'm like, yeah, of course, man. And the reason for that is I had brought him up to my level and I don't take bonuses. So for like 2 years, he didn't get any bonuses when our guys were getting like crazy percentage bonuses. I need a favor. Sue cannot process this bonus through Beast. I need a solid. Can you please process a $28K bonus for LaKoya? Let me know. Bye.
Finally, Dogpack would allege that Mr. was covering up allegations of SA at the company and enabling a toxic work culture.
He definitely was a little more reserved around me because I wasn't a part of his inner circle, or the boys club as it's called. I did hear Jimmy straight up say that the guy making a documentary on him right now has footage of him saying stuff that would absolutely get him canceled. It's just a well-known thing the boys club is misogynistic and looks down on women in the company despite what they might say publicly. Behind closed doors, the women in the company know that the culture is a problem. I have heard multiple stories of Jimmy being directly informed of SA happening at the company and proactively working to keep it quiet, so just directly implicating Jimmy in the SA cover-ups. LaKoya was an 18-year-old straight assistant. So she's one of the people corroborating that story. Ava told Jimmy about a time she was essayed by another talent member on a private jet, and talent members/employees making advances towards contestants was a regular occurrence. The reason all this was able to happen for so long is because Jimmy is deeply misogynistic and only respects what he considers to be traditional women. He pushed those values into the company when he created it, and it resulted in several essay allegations we know about, and probably a lot more we don't know yet. Which I will say a lot of the essay allegations are still not public.
On one hand, the amount of evidence against LaKoya and MrBeast seem very compelling and paint a picture of a very hostile workplace. On the other, the claims against James Warren aired more in the lines of speculation, a move that could potentially become problematic. The day after Dogpack's video went live, a creator mentioned in it by the name of the surprise witness would make a surprising comment about the claims brought against James Warren.
One of the things that these people are alleging, or one of these people has alleged to Dawson, is James Warren, this guy we just talked about, the secret CEO, had committed some type of domestic incident, some type of harm onto a girl that he was dating. I did look into this, and I went into it thinking he had done that, okay? I went into it thinking he did it, and I'm just gonna have to find the paperwork for it. I searched and searched and searched, and there was one case number I looked into. Again, I could probably make a whole video on this, but suffice it to say that I do not think that the case number that is associated with this picture right here, and I told Dawson this, and that's why he said this in the video, I do not think that this particular case is the same James Warren. For many reasons, like I said, I did a few hours of research just into this case alone. I was in the property records. I was on Facebook looking people up. I was doing all kind of looking at the marriage records in the newspaper. I just don't think this is the same James Warren.
However, she would later state that there were case files that they hadn't looked into yet, so it was still a possibility.
So I am not prepared to make the allegation that he committed some type of domestic incident that has been put on the record because I've not been able to find that. As Dawson said, I do have a couple of requests out for different stuff, and we will see. To me, that's not the most important thing. There's other stuff to look into, and that has to do with this big court case where someone went to prison for fraud for 10 years. So let's just hold our horses till we get to that.
These concerns were echoed over on Twitter with a tweet from Nicholas Diorio that read, "Hey Dogpack, remove the video. This is your source. Your own source can't stand by the allegations you made. This completely eviscerates your credibility." To which Dogpack would reply with, "When did I say she was my source? Why would my source be someone who never worked at MrBeast? The specific case she's referring to I got from another journalist and I did not include it in my video. I think she's mistakenly believing that I got it from someone at MrBeast. I've heard DV claims against James from several former employees. Some claim to have witnessed it firsthand. As with anything, it's possible my sources are wrong, but people swear it's true, so I put out the claim with a clear disclaimer that it's not proven." When pressed further, Dogpack shared screenshots of pending court documents that could give more clarity to the case. Here are the 6 criminal court cases under the correct James Warren. Could be traffic tickets, could be murder. I'm still waiting on the FOIA requests. That will take weeks, not days. I agree, the phrasing and plug was bad, but you're exaggerating to make a mountain out of a molehill, in my opinion. I'm confident that my video will age well and LaKoya and James will be let go from MrBeast. Surely enough, on the 6th of September, things would take a turn for the worse when Dogpack posted a tweet announcing that James Warren was innocent. In a tweet reading, "James Warren DV charges update. The 6 NC criminal court cases were not for DV. I still have some FOIA requests out, but an alleged current MrBeast employee reached out to me giving me their side of the story. I think this person is mistaken with a lot of details, but I do now believe the James Warren DV case that circulated the office was most likely the wrong James Warren. Of course, none of my sources knew that. I tried multiple times to get in touch with the person who allegedly made the charges before making my video and did not get a response. I should have waited in the FOIA requests before mentioning the DV charges allegations. However, I believe it was clear in my video that they were just allegations of charges. Charges are themselves unproven accusations, not convictions. I'm not a professional journalist or investigator. My goal is just to bring credible allegations to light so they can be properly investigated and people can be held accountable. I still believe there are other credible allegations involving James Warren that need to be investigated. The amount of speculation and lack of evidence in Dogpack's 3rd video, combined with the fact that he publicly spread false accusations of domestic violence and animal abuse to over 2.5 million people, seriously calls his credibility into question, with users on Twitter expressing their criticisms of Dogpack, reading, "Why did everyone take this embarrassing clout chaser seriously? He wholesale ripped the Ebony Prince account marketing strategy from the Kendrick/Drake stuff, then drops a Content Cop Skinwalker video. YouTube audiences are total total marks. You went forward with allegations before doing the bare minimum of checking to make sure it's the right guy. Colossal fuck up. As well as, this isn't the kind of oopsie where you just give a half-hearted Twitter apology. 2.5 million people saw your baseless domestic violence accusation of an innocent man. You need to do a retraction video if you have any shred of moral integrity. Despite Dogpack's credibility massively coming into question here, the accusations of an unsafe environment for contestants is still very much present, with even more information being uncovered from the past. Whether or not the case documents in question would prove James had domestic violence charges against him is anyone's guess. However, what we do know is that the unraveling image of the MrBeast brand is getting worse with each day. One critical example of this is a video from the Creator Games 52, published back in 2022, which a contestant detailed a rather traumatic experience he had working with MrBeast. According to Games 52, during the last to leave the toilet wins $1 million challenge, he suffered a significant skin injury after being inclined on a toilet for 32 hours.
For the amount of time that we're sitting on this flat porcelain toilet, and this is just me.
While Games 52 did acknowledge that the contestants knew these risks going into the challenge video, he stated that the issues were due to the nature of the challenges themselves and not MrBeast.
What happens behind the scenes, y'all can't know what is chopped out of the videos, because what's chopped out, like, y'all could be able to like if he would put these extras, like if he were to put out this extra shit, y'all would hate Holmes. But it's not because of what he's doing. It's legitimately, we sign up for this shit, okay? Don't forget that. You sign a contract, you know what you're going through. But y'all would look at MrBeast differently, and that's not cool.
The MrBeast brand was founded on increasing extreme challenges and ideas, but at what point does he reach the limit of what is possible to do without putting participants at risk for views? Combine these concerns with Dogpack's allegations of a toxic work culture at the company, and it seems MrBeast has to worry about what happens both in front and behind the camera. However, considering the murky nature of some of the allegations, one can only imagine the impact further speculation could have on the case, and how the situation might evolve when MrBeast openly addresses it. At that point, the controversy was no longer about one person around MrBeast, it was about MrBeast himself. MrBeast is currently trying to undergo the biggest cover-up in YouTube history, with alleged cease and desist letters, deleted comments, and character assassination. This comes after ex-MrBeast employee Dogpack404, also known as Dawson, uploaded 2 videos accusing MrBeast of having a predator on his team, as well as other unethical, fraudulent, and criminal activities. But are these allegations real, or is this all simply a big ploy to smear the reputation of YouTube's most popular creator? It goes without saying, but MrBeast, aka Jimmy Donaldson, is an extremely popular individual, being the most subscribed YouTuber with a staggering 308 million subscribers. Jimmy built a reputation in the YouTube community for combining acts of extreme generosity with interesting challenges.
Well, I'm a YouTuber, I mean, you can see the camera, and so it's a series where I just, be nice and just give people some help, so it's about $10,000. I'm not joking.
Unfortunately, Jimmy's YouTube empire has recently come under fire following the release of several damning allegations regarding him and his best friend Chris Tyson. On one hand, Chris is facing backlash for alleged inappropriate interactions with minors on a Discord server, which I've already uploaded a full video talking about. On the other hand, Jimmy is being accused of faking key elements of his videos and profiting off fans through shady tactics like illegal lotteries. The majority of the accusations leveled against Jimmy would come from one of his former employees, Dogpack404. On the 24th of July 2024, Dogpack uploaded a video titled, "I worked for MrBeast, he's a fraud," which started with the claim that Jimmy was deliberately manipulating the psychology of young viewers and had been rigging certain portions of his videos.
I wanted to provide some context to this video. I'm a former MrBeast employee, and today I am alleging that the company rigged videos and did illegal lotteries and sold fake signatures. I would consider that fraud. Okay, thank you. Enjoy the video.
Dawson continued the video by outlining the steps of how the MrBeast brand was using reward-based psychology to get young viewers to act in a certain manner.
Now, MrBeast intentionally manipulates these children's vulnerable minds for profit using 3 simple steps, which closely align with the 3 major types of behavioral learning. Step 1 is getting the viewer to associate the brand with trust and authority. MrBeast videos are real, and he's a great guy that gives away big rewards to his loyal followers. I will show you irrefutable evidence in a minute that his videos are in fact fake. Step 2 is showing the viewers that when people interact with MrBeast in a way that benefits MrBeast, when they do what he tells them to do, they win big rewards.
Following this, Dogpack pointed out several inconsistencies and rigged scenarios in a number of Jimmy's previous videos.
Also, if what we had to film was scripted, you know, because what we do is non-scripted, so you have to plan for a bunch of variables that you can't control, blah, blah. If what we did was scripted, holy shit, this stuff would be easy to pump out.
Have you ever faked a video?
No. But this train track is CGI, these bus wheels are CGI, this explosion is fake, this shredder is CGI, this car is digitally lifted, this pit is fake, this guy is fake, this raccoon is a paid actor, this island costs more than $1, this city is not abandoned, these buildings are CGI, but isn't that your only way out? You can literally get an Uber to the airport for $20. That's not a lurker. It's just a guy. This whole room is fake. This contestant is an actor and a secret employee at MrBeast. They had him dive through this fake door twice. This line is scripted. This action is scripted. In fact, pretty much all the videos with Mac are scripted.
Including some extra touches to a challenge video in post-production was one thing, but outright influencing the outcome of said challenge or contest was a completely different story.
Okay, so MrBeast fabricates some contestant dialogue and timers and movements and storylines and uses a bunch of shitty CGI, but who really cares? I mean, the videos are just for entertainment only, right? I mean, it's not like he's ever rigged the results of a challenge. That would be impossible because he films with hundreds of random subscribers, right? Wrong. Let's look at this video. Not only were the results of this video completely scripted, but the contestants are not random subscribers.
So many people had jobs.
Oh, that contestant had to get out for her job? I guess you forgot she's your hiring manager. I actually recognize a lot of people in this video, including Jimmy's own girlfriend. So yeah, the random subscribers you see in challenges are actually never random. They're almost always local to MrBeast and oftentimes friends and family of MrBeast employees or just the employees themselves.
In addition to this, Dogpack shared a message from another former employee who claimed that the MrBeast crew decided to rig the contest to avoid a PR problem.
According to a former MrBeast employee, it would have been a PR problem if the boys had won by a lot. And because so many of the female contestants were MrBeast employees who got out immediately, production stepped in to actually make the results of the challenge closer. You can actually see some of this happen on camera, like when Jimmy pays one of the boys $10,000 to leave, which is twice as much as the actual prize money, but doesn't make the same offer to the girls.
The boys were blowing you out of the water. I paid the one guy who knew how to solve them to leave. Now if you don't win, that was all for nothing.
At another point, he gives the girls a camera drone so they would have been able to see how many boys were left. It doesn't work out, but seeing how much they're willing to help them on camera, I'm willing to believe that they did, in fact, help them off camera.
The authenticity of MrBeast's videos wasn't the only thing being called into question, as Dogpack also presented allegations of him exploiting young viewers through illegal lotteries and other dubious marketing tactics.
So now that I've explained some of the ways that MrBeast lies to build trust with his audience, I want to go on to explain how he exploits that trust for profit through running illegal lotteries, selling fake signatures, giving children diabetes, and more.
It's worth noting that, at least in the US, it's illegal for anyone besides the government to hold a lottery. The textbook definition of a lottery is anything that includes the opportunity or chance to win a valuable prize and requires a form of payment to enter. A typical giveaway would have to eliminate any barrier to entry or monetary requirement to be considered legal. According to Dogpack, MrBeast used giveaways to incentivize young viewers into buying more of his merch and other projects.
Of our limited edition 40 mil special shirts, we're celebrating 40 million subscribers with a really big video, then we will sign that shirt and some of them will get random prizes like this. In 10 minutes, right, because we gotta give them time to do their cart, we'll give 2 orders $500 each. 5 minutes, someone's getting $3 grand in their order. In 5 minutes, we're gonna do the same thing again. We're gonna put $1,000 in a random order. 2 minutes, newest order gets $2,000. Good luck, everybody.
So this was a 6-hour live stream. They took it down off YouTube, but 5 hours of it are still up on their Facebook page. And during those 5 hours, I counted 46 illegal lotteries.
Throughout the stream, Jimmy would claim that he'd include something with the most recent orders and that he was giving away too many prizes to make a profit, something that Dogpack alleged wasn't possible.
We need to stop giving everyone something.
We just lost like 7.
Almost everything that someone's bought, we put something in their package. I'm not gonna make money.
In 5 hours, they gave away about $50,000 worth of stuff and sold over 50,000 t-shirts. Selling these t-shirts at $42 each, profit margin would be about $22. But even if they were making like $1 per shirt, they would still be fine. Also, by my estimates, only 1 in every 1,600 orders actually won a prize. And I guarantee he has real-time analytics on his laptop. He knows they make more money every time he says,
oh my God, guys, we're giving away so much stuff. We're not even gonna make a profit. Please, don't you want me to make a profit?
The giveaway stream was seemingly not an isolated incident, as MrBeast repeated the strategy multiple times on a much larger scale.
4 months later, MrBeast signed shirts again, but this time it was a 24-hour live stream with way more illegal lotteries. And by the way, the rest of these streams were taken down shortly after upload, so all I have is some old clips and Reddit threads talking about them. Now this stream did say, we are doing a ton of giveaways, no purchase necessary in the description, but to be eligible to win most prizes, you had to make a purchase.
Would you guys prefer, that we throw money in random orders or that we throw items in random orders? Yeah.
Somebody screamed in chat, I want to switch.
Hey.
Buy a shirt.
In 30 minutes, we are giving away my car to someone that buys merch.
Dogpack also stated that there were other aspects of the stream that was misleading, such as MrBeast not even signing some of the t-shirts himself.
It does say this limited tee signed by MrBeast and crew, but the description says it's signed by a member of the MrBeast crew, and it doesn't say anywhere that other members will sign MB, deceiving people into believing it was signed by MrBeast. So here's a clip of Tyler using MrBeast's signature. So Tyler signs MB, which is MrBeast's signature. Then he covers it, signs his own initials, TC, smirks, looks around, and then quickly slides the shirt away. Could you make it any more obvious?
If these weren't already signs that MrBeast was open to exposing his young audience to gambling, he almost worked with a predatory sponsor called Mystery Box.
That was about 3 years or 2.5 years ago when I started working with Jimmy. What was becoming really popular were these like mystery loot crate, like internet sites where it's basically like CSGO skins, but you'd go on and be like, here's the Supreme box, and you'd pay $50 for it. And remember, it was
didn't Ricegum did quite a few people. Yes,
Yeah, they got a lot of hate for that.
Right.
Jimmy was, he wanted to work with that company when he heard about it because there was a lot of money and we wanted to give that money away in a video, and I had to talk him back on it. I was like, listen, we're not promoting gambling. I think people are gonna see this negatively. So it's a long conversation that him and I had to have, which eventually we passed on the deal, and then Jake, Paul, and Ricegum ended up doing that deal and got a lot of hate for it.
Dogpack continued by alleging other MrBeast products, such as Feastables, had gambling-adjacent elements, because they included the chance of getting a ticket that could be redeemed for other prizes.
My manager literally said at one point that they wanted to associate buying a Feastables with your dream coming true. So they're pitching ideas like, you know, buy a Feastables, win 10K, buy a Feastables out of a vending machine, and the vending machine just starts spitting out money. Buy a Feastables and it has a ticket to Disney World, whatever, right? And I don't want to put a lot of like hearsay into this video. You should just believe the receipts that I'm showing you and not what I'm saying. But I swear to God, I said to somebody at the company, I feel like Feastables is 70% a chocolate company and 30% a lottery targeting children. And this higher up person at MrBeast said it was probably closer to the other way around and was laughing about it. Like 70% a lottery, 30% a chocolate company.
However, Dogpack would acknowledge that MrBeast had a no purchase necessary clause in some of their promotional material.
The only place you'll find no purchase necessary is either on the Feastables Twitter account because it's a rule of the platform, and even still they try to push it. No perched neck, or hidden deep in the Feastables website under a FAQ. And to enter for free, you have to mail in separate 3" by 5" hand-addressed written index cards, up to 10 a day. Do you think kids are gonna do that shit or just beg their parents when they're at Walmart for the YouTuber diabetes lottery ticket? How is this legal? How do you mail something without making a purchase?
It was apparent that MrBeast was willing to employ some legally grey marketing tactics to boost product sales, but sadly, this wouldn't be the only time he utilized shady means to get what he wanted. The expose video posted by Dogpack would go on to garner over 11 million views within just 2 weeks of being public, and received an extremely positive reception from viewers, with over 627,000 likes, and supportive comments from viewers stating, "If this video mysteriously disappears, I've downloaded a copy. This comment serves as my confirmation that this video once existed. Bro just exposed the biggest YouTuber ever, followed by 300 million plus people. That's a hell of an achievement." As well as, YouTube should be held accountable for pumping millions for these shady operators to keep exploiting kids. However, as you'd imagine, the response from MrBeast was not so kind, with a member of the MrBeast team coming forward to debunk some of Dogpack's claims, with a tweet from user Chucky stating, "I want to quickly debunk some of the info in this video, since the guy who made it was on my team. team. It was my decision to fire him for erratic behavior. He worked at the company for less than a month and wasn't an employee for most of the videos he mentions to have knowledge on. There's so much in his video, and I want to specifically address him saying our videos are fake and staged, because this is not true. I was on the set for many of these videos. You won't get into a video unless your family or friends is someone that works at MrBeast. This is a wild statement that can be easily proven wrong. There's probably hundreds or thousands of people who have no affiliation to friends or family of MrBeast's employees. Think the 456 people in Squid Game, or ages 1 to 100, etc. Jimmy doesn't know more than like a dozen people, lol. The train track was CGI, the bus was a CGI, the pit is fake. He acts like he's exposing us for using CGI to make backgrounds look cool, when we have done multiple public behind the scenes videos with So Crispy showcasing this. It's clearly not a secret. On top of that, we did drive buses in that pit, and same with the train you claim we didn't. The raccoon was a paid actor. I don't even know what to say about this. Clearly not an actor, lol. Island cost more than $1. Not true. We did pay $1 for this island. You can Google MrBeast purchases Outer Banks Island for $1, which stated this before the video was released. He moved into a mansion 2 months before being in a video, $1 million mansion. He talks about how 2 months before we filmed the first Mac video that he moved into a mansion. Mac was staying at a friend's house, and I'm not sure how that proves anything or why it's relevant. The wink was added in post. Bruh, he really did wink. This is a flat out lie again. The revenge storyline was added in post. He implies 42 and 58 was scripted and not real. The contestants themselves have talked about this on streams they did after the video. They legit didn't like each other. He also claimed 58 was on the far opposite side and didn't hear him. Just because he was on the other side of the room, you don't think 58 heard him yell? How on earth would he know? Not only were the results of this video completely scripted, but the contestants are not random subscribers. He claims our 100 boys vs 100 girls video is scripted, and the proof is a random text saying it is. That's it. It was not scripted. Jimmy probably had countless people on set for that video, and it would have been impossible to hide. This video was not scripted. I was on set for this, and there was no bias for who won. He also implies the video is fake because we had some employees in each team. The employees in the video were there to fill in for people who tested positive for COVID last minute before filming. Thea, Jimmy's GF, mentioned this on the podcast over a year ago. If it wasn't for COVID, they would not have been in it. They had the same money on the line as everyone else. Some random text of someone thinking it was rigged doesn't mean it's rigged, lol. Also, I think some of the MrBeast giveaways are fake. We do not fake giveaways. I've been hands-on with some of them, and I've personally been the person to connect winners with our accounting department to get paid. You also suggested we didn't spend $1 million on Samsung phones, and I can assure you we did. Another lie from you. The MrBeast employee would then go on to attempt to present Dogpack as an unreliable source of information, by stating he claimed he was under the influence of mushrooms when filming the video. I could keep going on, but I don't want it to be this long. Dawson himself said on Reddit that he was on shrooms and weed when filming this video, which might explain some of the made up stuff. Dawson was only employed from March 25th, 2024, and was let go on April 19th, 2024. He was on a 90-day trial, and we ended it early and paid him out to June 25th, as we guaranteed the 90 days of pay so that he could transition into a new job. I'd appreciate it if everyone reading this could help dispel all this fake rumors by spreading this info. Jimmy spends unfathomable amounts of money and time to ensure the integrity of what he does, and I hate to see it come into question with a bunch of lies. Dawson, if you leave this up, then you're a hypocrite. With accusations of lies, fake evidence, and creating a baseless hit piece, it wouldn't be long before Dawson would respond in the comments, defending his original video, stating, "Debunking your debunking. Good character assassination attempt. You leave out my unpaid trial period and also my time working for Idea Guys, a company for which MrBeast is a client. The founder of Idea Guys also had to get permission from MrBeast to hire me, so weird you guys didn't tell him that I was erratic. Also, weed and shrooms was an obvious joke. Jimmy doesn't know more than like a dozen people. You expect people to believe this? How many people do his employees know? Who is the contestant in the Train vs Pit? How about Lambo vs Shredder? How did Ava's cousin Justin get into the Chocolate Factory video? Or Della vlogs? CGI is clearly not a secret. Cool, so when Jimmy was accused of using too much CGI in Train vs Pit, why did he deny it on Twitter? The raccoon was a paid actor. Bruh, you expect people to believe Chris and Chandler were petting an actual wild raccoon? From your own source on the island. The transfer tax was $1, and the company also paid $27 in tax and fees for the property. Also, you leased it back to the owner for $0. $1 plus $27 equals $28. This wink was added in post. It was. Compare that wink to the other contestants' winks in other scenes, or none of his TikToks. His mouth always partially opens. Here, that doesn't happen. because in the original footage, it was a blink, altered to match the false revenge narrative. Interesting how he didn't mention altering the timers or contestant dialogue in post. Not only were the results of this video completely scripted, but the contestants are not random subscribers. You acknowledge that the contestants were not random subscribers, but refuse to acknowledge the clear rigging that can be seen multiple times on camera. Please watch Upper Echelon's video analyzing the case law regarding this rigging. Also, I've now heard from multiple people on the boys team that they were fed much later than the girls, and that the production team was clearly favoring the girls. Days later, on the 1st of August 2024, Dogback would reveal that he'd received a cease and desist letter from MrBeast, demanding that he would immediately take down the video, delete his Reddit, and not spread any more information relating to MrBeast. Dogpack seemingly had no fear for the cease and desist letter, as the video would remain up, and he would tease a second edition, which would supposedly expose MrBeast even further. Amazing YouTuber Oompaville would publish a video on the 2nd of August 2024 interviewing Dogpack, where he would reveal more details surrounding MrBeast, with new allegations of mistreating animals during filming.
Dude, the raccoon, in reality, it's much worse than being a paid actor.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a domestic raccoon that they brought to the set, and they're like sort of treating it like a prop. They're putting it in the ceiling and then pretending like, you know, they just discovered it.
Yeah, exactly.
But then there's a scene where somebody off camera takes the raccoon and like throws it onto the bed. And I'm sure you could pull this clip up. The edit is very strange because there's a zoom in and pan up. So it like hides the fact that the raccoon is going on the bed. But what it's really doing is hiding the fact that someone's throwing the raccoon. And then there's a voiceover in post of Jimmy saying, "Oh man, the raccoon just ran in the hotel," or whatever. And they're like screaming at it and shit. So it's like almost, I wouldn't say animal abuse, but like it's kind of borderline mistreatment when you're just like using it as a prop and then scaring it for no reason.
Dogpack would also address his MrBeast non-disclosure agreement, claiming he didn't break it despite posting the video.
Because actually people think that I broke my NDA, but like 90% of that video is public information, and then like the other 10% is about crimes. I was like, it was pretty decently strategic. I don't think they would have a case, and like I've spoken with lawyers and everything, so.
When discussing the cease and desist letter, Dogpack seemed unusually calm and collected about it.
How do you feel about that? Do you feel nervous, or do you feel
No.
excited?
I feel confident.
You feel
It's not excited, but
little nervous, a little bit. You got to feel a little. I would be shitting myself if I were you.
No, I'm not shitting myself.
Well, you were
because it was 100% expected. It was 100% expected.
Right. I mean, to be honest, like it's cool to be nervous and not scared though, because like you are coming from the perspective of this is what you believe is truth, and you're doing this out of good faith. Like it doesn't.
Dogpack would also bring up new evidence potentially linking Chris Tyson into the alleged fake giveaways.
I do have new evidence of like potentially another legitimate crime, which is that I talked about the golden ticket giveaway for the Willy Wonka video and how one of those tickets went to a YouTuber called Della Vlogs. There was another former employee DM'd me on Twitter, and he told me that there's another contestant in that video who his name is Justin, and he's Ava Chris Tyson's cousin. If they have some explanation, like maybe the contestant dropped out or something and they replaced him with him, then it could be fine. But like in a sweepstakes, if he actually won a golden ticket, which is what the employee is telling me, then that's completely illegal because you have to disqualify your family members.
With no signs of Dogpack backing down or removing the video, MrBeast would allegedly send him another cease and desist, reading, "Dear Mr. Dogpack 404, this firm has recently been retained by MrBeast YouTube LLC and its founder, Jimmy Donaldson, regarding the unsettling news that you have embarked on a campaign to disparage MrBeast as a company and defame Jimmy Donaldson as an individual. Not only are your statements about MrBeast and Jimmy Donaldson untrue, they also violate the clear binding, enforceable terms of your confidentiality and non-disclosure agreement with MrBeast, dated on March 25th, 2024. Along with the cease and desist, Dogpack would post a tweet indicating MrBeast may have been using intimidation techniques to scare him into silence, with a tweet reading, "Also, my number got leaked, apparently from a MrBeast employee named Kaylee. I've been getting texts from former MrBeast employees. A text I received last night claims that James wants to have private investigators start following me and looking into my family's social media accounts to find ways to discredit me. Apparently the best narrative they have right now is that I'm a crazy drug-addicted MrBeast superfan that got fired for trying to steal company funds." If this text is true, I will say, MrBeast, if you want to resort to personal attacks, I'm happy to reciprocate. Or, you know, just address the evidence. With a tweet containing screenshots displaying the text reading, dude, has anyone at MrBeast contacted you about the posts you're making? I've been reading the NDA over to see what I can and can't post, because I'd like to move on with my life and try having some type of social media presence, not planning on ever mentioning I worked at MrBeast, but if it got out or I somehow accidentally mentioned it, I wanted to make sure I wasn't gonna get sued to hell. Also, if you're going to post my message for proof you worked at Beast, I don't care, just don't show my number and you can save it how you want. Also, I got your number from Kaylee. I don't have access to anything Beast, like Slack or anything. Obviously, I'm not a Beast employee, I'm a former employee. Someone else I knew told me they texted you on Reddit talking about Kaylee and Leroy. I'm not that person and I won't mention any current or former MrBeast employees because of an NDA, as well as another message which was much more disturbing, reading, Dawson, I'm texting you anonymously to let you know that I heard James wants to have private investigators start following you and looking into every detail of your life. He wants them to reach out to your former employers, find all your social media accounts, your family's social media accounts, videos of you, anything. They already have a Google Doc listing possible ways to discredit you, including you're on drugs and have mental health problems, your mum is bipolar, you were an obsessed superfan, you were crying begging to get your job back after they fired you, you tried stealing company funds, etc. I don't know what's true and what's not, but personally, I really think you should just take everything down ASAP. If you take it down, they'll leave you alone, with Dawson responding saying, "You're trolling." What? The tweet also contained a screen recording displaying some of the strange and deranged messages. Following this, Dawson would also address the substance use allegations to make it clear that he was sober when recording the video. With everyone waiting to hear MrBeast's potential response, on the 4th of August 2024, he would upload a video titled "Survive 100 Days in Nuclear Bunker, Win $500,000. With the video not mentioning the recent controversy at all, viewers would flock to the comment section to express their thoughts on the allegations. However, whenever viewers seemed to leave a negative or critical comment, it would seemingly instantly disappear, with several tweets being posted showing how fast they were being censored. This led many users to suspect the MrBeast team was deliberately censoring negative comments. Over time, YouTube creators like Upper Echelon would conduct in-depth analysis into how and why the comment section was being altered, and made some very shocking observations.
This right here is the 36-hour period of time where the comment section of that latest video was scraped repeatedly and archived. Green is the total number of comments posted. Red is the total number of comments allowed to remain on the video actively. Over that one single 36-hour period from August 4th to midway through August 5th, over 26,000 comments were deleted at a consistent rate, as well as in 2 very large major batches. In addition, we can infer a couple of things from this graph, such as the usage of automatic filters, which would explain why the rate of new comments very suddenly drops off a cliff, also corroborated by showcasing the number of comments containing certain keywords over time.
Since viewers couldn't leave critical comments, they'd simply dislike the video, which resulted in an estimated 2 million dislikes compared to just 4 million likes. But we'll talk about that again later. As you'd expect, MrBeast attempted to discredit this information by claiming there were only 37,000 dislikes on the video within the first few hours of release.
Keemstar, after deleting a post about how many dislikes the video had received, allegedly showing footage directly from MrBeast about the real numbers. This footage, apparently from August 3rd to 4th, showed 3 million likes but only 37,000 dislikes, which is actually lower than the entire channel average if you look at the typical ratio of 98.2 versus 98.8%. Keemstar firmly asserts that he was not lied to, he was not misled, and that he believes these numbers are fully accurate. But I would like to assert, in my opinion, that these numbers are in no way, shape, or form even close to accurate, especially when you consider and understand the full scope of what's going on behind the scenes.
Altering comments and obscuring dislikes was only the tip of the iceberg, as MrBeast and his team allegedly had gone back to edit out portions of previous videos to control the narrative.
What's even more interesting is that if you go to an archived version of this video, you'll see that the length is 12 minutes and 48 seconds. However, the current version on the MrBeast channel is 10 minutes and 26 seconds. Here's why. At roughly 9 minutes and 30 seconds in, as stated in the comments that were mass deleted, a portion of this video was cut out that showed the team in a living room, and on the wall, sure enough, is a Shadman poster. The same poster that Ava Chris Tyson bragged about making a centerpiece of the living room. MrBeast went back to a video from 6 years ago. He deleted an entire month of comments, as well as stealth edited a portion of the video out to hide things.
By the 8th of August 2024, Dogpack uploaded the sequel to his initial expose video on MrBeast, which brought forward even more damning allegations.
So just before I get into my interrogation with former MrBeast employee Jake Weddle, a lot has happened since my last video. After posting it, I got hundreds of messages from former MrBeast employees, and I had them all send proof of former employment. Just people showing their support or telling their stories of fake videos or unsafe practices, toxic workplace, stuff like that.
Dogpack would also claim MrBeast was very aware of the current controversy and was planning to release a statement, but held back to see what else would be made public.
And also I have more serious allegations that I want to start covering. Also, I heard from a very credible source that MrBeast has been sitting on a response to part 1 because he was worried if he posted it, I would instantly respond with part 2, like this is Kids Bop, Kendrick Lamar vs. Drake. Also, I know MrBeast's secret CEO has been practically harassing my people on, hey, what's in part 2? What does he know? So I will just tell you, James, what will be in part 3, so you don't have to harass my people. It will be about serious allegations of sexual misconduct in the company and your direct involvement in covering up those crimes. And I'll make sure to give you full credit and plaster your face all over the screen when we talk about that.
While Dogpack wasn't able to discuss what happened with other MrBeast employees, he managed to interview a former employee named Jake Weddle, who knew what MrBeast was like behind closed doors.
So anyway, my interview with Jake Weddle, I chose to interview him because I thought he was perfect because he was both on camera and behind the scenes in 2019 and 2020. And also, what people don't know is that he came back in 2021 to be the sole contestant of a MrBeast video, which never got uploaded because it went very badly. He also knows about another portable document format who was working at MrBeast while actually on the registry. And I'll get more into that story at the end of the video.
At the start of the interview, Jake stated that he'd been featured in several challenges, and that he was part of the MrBeast team long enough to witness their transformation from a small channel to a media giant.
I'm Jake Weddle. Most people who, if you know me from MrBeast, I'm a deep cut. I'm in a few of the videos, sometimes maybe purposefully kept to the shadows a little bit. I'm in the cutting room floor a lot of the time. But I've been in some videos, I've worked on a lot of them. I was there from 2019 to 2020, 2021-ish when I came back and did some more. I was there when they were authentic, and then I saw the transition to what I feel like is a company. He's like a TV show now. It went from YouTuber guy with a camera to Amazon.
Jake continued by highlighting toxic patterns in the company's work culture, like employees being forced to stay on MrBeast's good side to avoid being mistreated, and MrBeast's extremely controlling attitude.
The culture around there was very unspoken, but there was a vibe. There was half the people who, if you made Jimmy happy, you were on the good half. And these people got random bonuses and were usually moved up, had more screen time. And then there was people who, if you had a disagreement or butt heads with Jimmy or just you didn't like it, you were the other half. And I consistently was in the half that Jimmy doesn't like me. That's fine. I don't like him either. It's okay. Oh, that feels so good to say. I don't like Jimmy. I hate you so much. He didn't want anyone to get more popular or have more of a way out necessarily. Like, oh, I'm doing my Twitch thing on the side. Don't do that because you could get famous and leave and talk about me negatively. And I could tell that the yes men were, doing well, and I was, disgruntled for quite some time. So I've talked to reporters, right, like publicly, and I've always had to choose my words very, very carefully because I don't want to say anything I don't stand behind, obviously. So I used to talk to people. I used to glaze Jimmy publicly for things I do genuinely think are true. But then it's like, well, how come you didn't talk about the working conditions? Well, I wanted a career.
Things were allegedly so toxic that Jake and one of his co-workers were fired for simply asking for better compensation.
I feel really guilty about the way this shook out. Yeah, I was talking to this other writer, Mike, and it's fucked up, that's how the pay is, and I want you to get paid more, because you deserve to get paid more. I don't have a kid. And he didn't want to rock the boat. He desperately didn't want to rock the boat. He's just, I like my job. I like, because when you grow up with, nothing, not to say that he did, but I know I did, You get a little something, you don't want to lose it. So he didn't want to rock the boat. But he said, hey man, if that's how you feel, if that's I trust you. He stood with me. He went to that meeting with me. And I said my piece and he backed me up. I said, I need XYZ or I'm out of here. And they said, bet. And they gave me a severance check the next day. And they gave him a severance check the next day. And if I knew
From Jake's perspective, MrBeast's generosity is extended to his workers, but only shown to people who can thank him on camera.
I think Jimmy wants to be the best YouTuber. I think he is laser focused on one goal. And I think whatever he has to do to achieve that goal, he'll do. And I think it was the smartest decision for him that he calculated, because he's very good with numbers. If I donate to charity, people can't say I'm shitty.
While he didn't work for MrBeast anymore, Jake still had the chance to be part of certain videos. However, one challenge in particular didn't go as planned and cost Jake much more than a paycheck.
If I did do mini challenges in that I got paid, I was, clocked in with a rate, and I would get paid and compensated for those. But there was one video I was in, I got paid a lot for it, but it didn't come out. It didn't come out because it didn't go well. There was a video that came out probably like a year ago, something like that. It got a lot of hot water when it came out. It was the surviving like $10,000 every day you survive in solitary, or surviving solitary for whatever. It was one of those solitary confinement videos that got a lot of media attention because everybody saw the premise and thought, what? You shouldn't do that. And people don't know that was the second attempt. The first attempt was on me, and it didn't go well.
According to Jake, MrBeast's team offered him a challenge lasting 100 days in solitary confinement, getting paid $10,000 per day. Despite the inherent risk associated with extended solitary confinement, MrBeast's team assured that it would be a fun experience and that proper safety measures were already in place.
They're pitching it like at first it's gonna be like a luxury vacation. You're gonna have like a hot tub and an ice cream machine, and like part of the video is gonna be you deciding like what items am I gonna get rid of, today, and they had like the choice. They were like, it's only gonna be bad for maybe the last like 5 days tops when you have like nothing left. You're the first, it's gonna be like a breeze for most of it. And by the end of it, after 30 days, you're gonna get $300,000 because it's $10,000 a day. And I don't know, man. I grew up poor in North Carolina. I said, excuse me? I'll dance for you if you put that kind of money in my face, sure. They were like, you're gonna be locked in this room and we gotta make sure you're on all the time. We're gonna have cameras on you all the time and you're perfect for this because you never shut the fuck up.
Unfortunately, things wouldn't go to plan, and Jake was left to deal with the consequences.
And it got to a point where like, they weren't turning the lights off. I asked them, I said, can we like have like nighttime hours? And they said no, because it would fuck up the time-lapse shots. The time-lapse of what, me sleeping? Or me not sleeping? Yeah, I saw in other videos they did like, oh, you're gonna get XYZ hours of sunlight. Oh, great! Wanna know how they figured that one out? I didn't have it!
Even though Jake was battling sleep deprivation, an uncomfortable living environment, and exhaustion, allegedly, MrBeast was only concerned with getting a clip of how grateful he was to finally be able to pay his student loans.
Jimmy would come in like every other day for like an hour, to check in on me because he's doing other stuff. I'm just the guy in the cage over here. He'll come back to me in a minute. And so he'd come by, he'd get the shots, he'd leave. Sometimes he'd have a note with the director over the phone. That would really piss me off. This is the note I got from the director, from Jimmy, when I'm receiving some cash. He said, Jimmy said, can you say to the camera how thankful you are that now you can pay back your student loans? You know how hard it was to do a take of that? And pretend to make it genuine?
The alleged damage done to Jake's mental health would become so apparent that even editors took note and were extremely concerned about his well-being.
I'm locked in a cage at his whim. And I have to do things to get the cash I need to live. And I got these cameras on me all the time. And I was unwell. I had editors coming up to me saying, "You good, bud?" And I was like, yeah, why? You're clearly unwell. And he goes, well, because the footage you're sending in is haunting. Because I'm trying to be funny, but I am mentally decaying, so I'm doing bits. Someone said there is a horror cut of a video in this.
Sadly, this allegedly wasn't enough for MrBeast to care, and told Jake to get ready to run a marathon.
He comes in, he wakes me up. And he goes, ask me why I have 2 briefcases. And I'm like, why do you have 2 briefcases? And he goes, oh, because this one's for today, you know, and this one's for the challenge. And I go, what's the challenge today? He goes, you're gonna run a marathon. You're gonna do the 22.6K, whatever it is. And you're gonna do it on that treadmill over there.
Feeling pressured to keep the production going and not wanting to lose prize money, Jake gave in to MrBeast's demands and got on the treadmill.
And so I wanted to be a good sport, and I wanted to get the boost, and I wanted the cash, and so I started running at 12. I was able to take some breaks, and I asked him, how long do I have? He goes, until I get back. And I'm running until 3 a.m. When I got off the treadmill, the blisters I had on my feet were like, you wouldn't believe, just all over, just these big red. I couldn't walk. My muscles were like just the lactic acid. I got off the treadmill, and then the people that came in to like ice my feet, you know, make sure I was good. Then that's when I was like, I'm done. I'm done. I'm out. I'm out.
While MrBeast agreed to let him end the challenge early, he didn't let Jake go without making sure he wouldn't take legal action.
Then everybody was around me, making sure I was good, making sure I was okay. But Jimmy had his he was sitting in the chair turned around like an evil villain. Swear to God, everyone was looking at me, and he was like Lex Luthor over there. He turns around, he stands up. He does the exact same thing when he's pretending to have a human connection. As if rehearsed by his lawyers. Yeah, you know, your mental health's the most important thing, you know, just want to make sure you're okay, and last thing we want you to do is... I can almost hear the word Sue come out of his mouth. The S, he just stopped right before it got out.
If Jake's statements are true, then it's apparent that MrBeast is almost always hyper-fixated on the goal of making a good video, and seemingly doesn't care about what he has to do to get there. This train of thought was only supported by the company's alleged stance on being told no when trying to film a video.
When dealing with people outside MrBeast Productions, never take no at face value. If we need a store to buy everything inside of, and you can call the local Dollar Tree, and the person that answers says no, you can't film here, that literally doesn't mean shit. Talk to other employees and see if they are fans or if any have kids that are fans. Try talking to their boss's boss. Have me DM them on Twitter and try their social team. If all avenues are exhausted and you are left with a no, that doesn't mean don't try the other Dollar Trees, because the manager of those could be huge fans and willing to bend the rules. Basically what I'm trying to convey is what we call pushing through no. Don't stop because one person told you no. Stop when all conceivable options are exhausted.
When the topic of Ava Tyson's situation came up, Jake shared some rumors about a PDF working at the company.
Was covering stuff up. He didn't want stuff to come out. You know, he's very careful about his image. You know, the tangible proof that he knew but covered it up. You know, how do you prove that, you know? Well, there was a known sex offender, registered sex offender, convicted sex offender, on the registry and everything, who worked there. And like, you can, you know, someone pees in public, you're on the registry, you know, you get it. You can still have a job after you're on the, that's one thing. You know, you go to prison, you get rehabilitated, that's one thing. You know, like if you do your time, that's fine. I think there should be rehabilitation in this country. But that guy, from what I hear, I can't confirm or deny, from what I hear, he's on the registry for doing some not great stuff to some underage people. And they knew that. And he's working at a channel that has underage people on and around and is targeted to underage people.
When you consider the fact that the majority of MrBeast's audience are children, the possibility of a registered PDF being on set and in videos becomes too alarming to ignore. Stranger still, most of the MrBeast team were apparently aware of this, and seemingly even made jokes about it.
But when I was there, they called him Delaware. He's like, why do you call him Delaware? And I didn't know. Apparently they called him Delaware because he's not allowed to go back to Delaware. That's his nickname? Colloquially? Like, you know, yeah, it's Delaware. Don't ask him why, you know? The fuck?
At the end of the interview, Dogpack presented an audio recording from another MrBeast employee that alleged that the MrBeast team is currently trying to cover up Delaware's record. Within 24 hours of Dogpack's video going live, it garnered over 7 million views and forced a response from someone who used to be on the MrBeast team, named Jake the Viking. In the Twitter post, Jake would acknowledge that Delaware was a registered PDF, but not only that, but also his brother-in-law. But that wasn't the full story, with the tweet reading, when he was 21, a 16-year-old girl accused him and others of SA when she was 11. Delaware took a plea deal, but there was no jail time, but he still had to register. In addition to this, Jake stated the real reason his brother-in-law was given the name Delaware, reading, his nickname isn't Delaware because he can't go back to Delaware, he's from Delaware, he's been back several times. Jake also stated that Jimmy knew about Delaware's record before hiring him, reading, before being hired, Delaware sat down with Jimmy and Sue, Jimmy's mum, and explained to them everything. So yes, Jimmy knew. But again, this incident happened in 2010. Delaware was hired in 2017/2018. According to Jake, the charges against Delaware wouldn't be an issue for much longer, and claimed he had never been a risk to children on or off set, reading, Delaware charges are said to be dropped this fall. Hurting kids in any way is completely unacceptable, but in the case of Delaware, I firmly believe he did nothing wrong, and look forward to the day these charges are dropped. The fact that MrBeast hired a registered PDF file to work on content he makes targeted towards children was disturbing to everyone that read it. And with all the new allegations arising every single day, there seems to be a pattern in behavior coming from Jimmy. A pattern of trying to cover up sensitive situations rather than acknowledge them publicly. On the 23rd of June 2024, MrBeast would launch a new version of his Feastables chocolates in Australia and announced a promotional campaign that offered buyers a chance to win one of 10 cars.
I just launched Feastables in Australia, as you can tell by the Sydney Opera House. And to celebrate, we're going to be giving random people that buy Feastables this Lamborghini and 9 other cars. That's a lot of cars! Right, Laserbeam? I'm just here because I'm Australian. No joke, all you have to do, just go to your local Woolworths or any of these retailers in Australia and buy a Feastables bar.
The promo would last from the 23rd to the 25th of June, with thousands of Australians participating in the event. In theory, this was a good way for MrBeast to expand his product into a new market and build hype around the brand. Unfortunately, things wouldn't go to plan, with many users facing technical issues with the minigame meant to decide the winners.
And I played your little game and I won. And then you told me womp womp. And if y'all don't believe me, I actually screenshot my game. Say, look, I won. But then you said, no. And when I reached out to your team, they said, sorry for the miscommunication. You're not one of the registered winners. Here's 10 free spins. 10 free spins? I'd rather take the car, personally. And look, I found out I'm not the only one who's had this issue. There's actually been a lot of people on this app and other apps sharing their experiences, showing screenshots of them winning and being told, sorry, not this time. So what's going on? Because I don't understand how we can play a game, win, and be told we don't win.
As the promo continued, even more consumers shared videos of themselves lining up the slots, but not winning.
Ooh! What the fuck?
This pattern of users not being registered as winners, despite winning the associated minigame, would become so frequent that it made the local news, with a headline reading, Sydney woman believed she had won a MrBeast car, only to be told there was an issue with her competition entry. However, once the dust had settled and the prizes had been won, one of the winners decided to share what it was like to be part of the Feastables promo.
I think it was like the 5th spin. It said, you've won a car. It played a video.
I need you to come to the Sydney Opera House right now so we can figure out which car is yours. You better hurry.
What the fuck? I answered, and then it was Jimmy.
Hey, how's it going? Did you buy a Feastables bar?
I did today.
And you scanned the QR code on the back, right?
I did, that is correct.
Yeah, well, congratulations. Yeah. You're one of our 10 winners.
Oh my god, dude.
So in 2 days, I need you to meet me at the Sydney Opera House.
Yep.
I have a Lamborghini, I have Teslas, I have nice cars. You're gonna compete against 9 other people at the Sydney Opera House.
Yep.
And where you place will decide whether you win the 6-figure Lambo. Alright, see you then, bye.
Bye. Oh my god!
Although the contestants were randomly picked, the minigame that users interacted with clearly had bugs that caused it to display invalid results, causing several users to believe they'd won a car. Obviously, with all these allegations piling up, things aren't looking good for MrBeast, and despite the alleged removal of comments and attempt to clean up the allegations, the comment section on MrBeast's recent video is still negative, with comments reading, address the allegations, we all miss the old MrBeast, as well as MrBeast is a villain now. Whilst it's likely MrBeast is uncancelable due to how how large his audience is, and how many of them wouldn't even know the allegations existed, it's safe to say the recent controversies have resulted in a huge hit in his reputation. And with his response being legal threats to silence people for speaking out, it seems like this will stain MrBeast's legacy moving forward.
Then came the part every massive creator eventually faces, the response video, where every word gets picked apart.
From career-ending allegations of hiring a registered vendor, hosting illegal lotteries, and faking his videos, it's safe to say that MrBeast is currently one of the most hated creators on the platform, and his lack of response or accountability for months only made things worse. However, MrBeast has finally ended his silence and conducted a 2.5-hour interview with commentary YouTuber Umberville, where he shared his side of the story and revealed some extremely disturbing things. The Delaware controversy remains one of the most damning allegations leveled against MrBeast, marking the point where even some of his defenders began to question his actions. The accusation stemmed from MrBeast hiring a registered offender and allegedly giving him the name Delaware as an inside joke tied to his criminal background. In his response, MrBeast refuted these claims, stating that the man's nickname was Delaware long before joining his team, and that it had no connection to his criminal record.
The big one that, I mean, videos with tens of millions of views collectively, you know, claiming I called a guy Delaware because he committed a crime in Delaware, like, you know, that is not true. His name was just Delaware. I didn't, you know, call him Delaware to make fun of him or anything.
To support this, MrBeast provided evidence showing the man had already worked at Best Buy prior to his employment, and was already using the name Delaware at that time. In fact, footage from one of MrBeast's older videos, titled "I gave $20,000 to random homeless people," shows the man wearing a Best Buy name tag with Delaware printed on it.
Guys, I appreciate it. Y'all have a good one. I love what you guys are doing. Say anything to them? If anyone's never watched, you need to. It's awesome. Everything they do is for a great cause. MrBeast, want my free shirt.
While this clears up the nickname's origin, it does not excuse the hiring decision itself. MrBeast explained that at the time he was 19 years old, his channel had just surpassed 1 million subscribers, and he was operating more like a casual YouTube team than a professional business. He admitted that background checks were not conducted, which led to unknowingly hiring the criminal.
What people are envisioning is completely different than what actually happened. Yes, I did hire him, but for the context around it, I hired him when I was 19, so I was a teenager, and this is kind of leans a little bit into what we were talking before. This is back when it was just a couple of my friends from high school, my mom. My videos were getting bigger. I needed more help. Probably should have gone on some site and hired people who had production experience, but instead I walked into my local Best Buy and I just hired multiple people. Obviously, when I was a teenager, I didn't know what a background check was. I hired a couple people there that wanted to help me make videos. One of them was the person named Delaware.
This defense, however, has been criticized for downplaying the severity of hiring someone with a criminal background, especially involving minors, given the channel's younger audience. To make matters worse, former team member Jake the Viking claimed on Twitter that MrBeast and his mother knew about Delaware's background before hiring him, a claim that MrBeast firmly denied in the interview.
I did not know he was a registered vendor. There's a rumor that's gone around that said that he sat me and my mom down and told us. Obviously, I don't remember that happening. And when I read that tweet, the first thing I did was I called my mom and I was like, hey, did this happen? Because someone's claiming this happened. My mom said, I would have literally quit or honestly probably shut the business down before I ever let my teenage son hire a registered vendor knowingly, which...
Following this, MrBeast would take accountability for hiring him in the first place and express his regret for doing so.
I take accountability. Yes, if I could go back in time, I would tell teenage me, hey, you're supposed to do background checks. 19-year-old me, he stared at retention charts all day. He obsessed over YouTube videos. He didn't know anything about running a business. Like,
while MrBeast cleared the air regarding the Delaware situation with clear evidence and accountability, the allegations didn't stop there. Another accusation against MrBeast revolved around a poster displayed in his home, which viewers noticed was created by the controversial artist Shadman. The poster featured a cartoon girl holding a fidget spinner and a gun, and it was reportedly hung by Ava Chris Tyson, MrBeast's former employee and roommate. When asked about the situation during his interview with Umberville, MrBeast explained that he had no knowledge of Shadman or his reputation when the poster was put up.
Back then, I used to have like a bunch of anime posters up on the wall. I just like set a foundation for context. We used to have a bunch of anime posters and things like that on our wall in the house. And one day, Ava put up this poster that was like an animated character.
Jimmy clarified that the poster wasn't purchased or commissioned by him, nor did he give it much thought at the time, because it blended in with other anime posters around the house, including ones from shows like Naruto and Code Geass.
I wish I could give more details. I mean, this was so long ago. Obviously, I don't know the exact thoughts going through my head, but I just remember, I agree, it is a little bit of a weird poster, but I also think I had Naruto posters up, or I had Code Geass posters, random animes I used to watch, and I never reversed image search and Googled, oh, who made this Code Geass anime poster that's sitting on the wall or whatever. I don't, your first instinct when you just see a poster is not to just go, who made that, and deep dive them. So
are they a pal? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, I agree. It's her buying it is very weird, and obviously...
MrBeast also acknowledged, in hindsight, that the poster was an odd choice, especially given what he now knows about Shadman's work and reputation.
Yeah, that's fair, because I also, after all this stuff, I didn't know who Shadman was. I've heard of him a little bit on Twitter and shit, but I didn't know. Total ignorance there, so...
What makes the statement of not knowing who Shadman is questionable is the fact that MrBeast had engaged with him on Twitter. However, it could be the case that he didn't know just how evil the artist was, or is just trying to play it off with ignorance. After addressing the Shadman poster controversy, MrBeast tackled another major allegation, this time from YouTuber CoffeeZilla, who raised concerns about potential shady crypto dealings tied to MrBeast. CoffeeZilla released a video titled Investigating MrBeast, exposing alleged insider trading linked to a crypto wallet reportedly associated with MrBeast. According to the claims, MrBeast's wallet showed activity that raised suspicions of unethical behavior such as insider trading. MrBeast, however, explained that the wallet wasn't managed by him, but by a professional crypto fund he entrusted to handle all transactions. He clarified that his decision to have it managed by someone else was intentional. With his schedule packed and limited knowledge of cryptocurrency, he didn't want to risk making mistakes or unintentionally breaking the law.
The gist of this report was, Jimmy is too stupid to make this kind of money, therefore it must be insider trading. This is his wallet, clearly there was insider trading because he never would have been able to make this kind of money. When in reality, which is what I told Coffee in that statement we gave him, it was managed by a fund. So I wasn't the one managing the wallet. I've never had access to that wallet. I've never done the buying and selling on that wallet. There's an actual professional who's written books on crypto and lived and breathes crypto every second of the day managing it. So most of the allegations there are just answered by I am too stupid to do that. That's why a fund was managing it, you know what I mean?
Jimmy also pointed to the sheer volume of transactions associated with the wallet, thousands in total, as proof that he couldn't have been manually handling it. He noted that many of the trades occurred when he was clearly unavailable, like during video shoots or plane rides.
That kind of time. I'm sure you could probably even look at it and see days where I was maybe in solitary confinement or doing a video where I didn't even have access to a computer and there's trading. True. So for the conspiracy theorists that think I'm lying and using the fund as a cover up, there's gotta be some way where you could just figure that out, where I was on a plane ride or something.
While MrBeast didn't specify the name of the fund or exact instances of his unavailability during trades, his explanation does provide insight into how the allegations may have been a misunderstanding. That being said, MrBeast contradicted this stance when he was previously on a podcast with Logan Paul, where he shared the story of getting a phone call from Gary Vee about a particular NFT he should buy, which he even mentioned buying publicly on Twitter. This would also be explained by MrBeast.
Like I said on that podcast, called me and a bunch of other people, said CryptoPunks were the next big thing. I thought it was pretty crazy, but the first thing I did right after that is just called the guy in charge of the fund who invested my money and it's other people's money as well, and just said, hey, Gary Vee seemed very passionate about these punks. You should look into it. If it makes sense, buy it. And so, he did the research, picked what punks to buy, bought them. I don't even truthfully know how to buy punks. I've never bought one, me personally.
Okay.
Like I've said, I don't have access to that wallet. So, in other transparency, that's kind of high level how it went. But, if he was oh, this is a shit investment, then he wouldn't have bought them. So he was the one who was doing the buying and selling and managing things.
Okay. But you did make some decisions to buy or sell in the Wu-Tang Fund.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Another claim against MrBeast involves the usage of CGI in his videos, sparking accusations that his content is faked, staged, and misleading. Critics pointed to certain scenes, including a claim that a hospital was digitally edited into a video to give the illusion that MrBeast built it himself. When addressing these allegations, MrBeast admitted that CGI is used in a small percentage of his videos, but clarified that it's only used to enhance certain visual elements, not to deceive viewers.
I mean, maybe like 0.5%, 0.1% of my shots. Like if we have like a background that like doesn't look too cool, like it's just like black, but it looks a little off, we'll just like darken it out in post. Like that's like majority of what we do, or sometimes we'll extend a set. But I was thinking like when we do, because bro, we pour millions of dollars into these videos. We build massive sets. Like we go through so much links to make these huge videos. And the last thing I want is people to be like, questioning whether or not things are CGI. I mean, like the sets we build are fucking crazy, man. Like it's wild. Like you should come see the like behind the scenes of it. I mean, sometimes we spend 100 days just literally building one room for one shot of one video.
That's insane.
To further address transparency, MrBeast revealed that he's considering adding timestamps in video descriptions to indicate when CGI is used, or overlaying a special Beast logo on CGI enhanced elements.
Potentially, I don't know, this is the first time I'm saying it publicly, like timestamping in the description when we do.
That's interesting.
Yeah, or like having some like gimmicky thing where like whatever we do, we like put like a little Beast logo on it, so it's like a thing that if people wanted to identify, they could. I mean, I'm down to figure something out. I mean, we just don't really use it that much. It's just like a thing few and far between. But what I really don't want is people to not be able to trust my videos just because occasionally I want to make a wall blacker, or like I want to extend a set a little bit just to make it look cooler and like you feel in tune with it. Because what we do on its own is insane, you know what I mean? Like we don't need it, you know what I mean?
One specific example fueling the CGI criticism was an accusation that MrBeast used CGI to make it seem like he built a hospital in a Beast philanthropy video. Jimmy admitted that there was an editing error in the video's opening, where a hospital was digitally removed from the shot, meant to show the before state of the location.
Honestly, truthful, dumb mistake. At the start of one of our Beast philanthropy videos, they were trying to show what this like building looked like in the past. And in the past, that hospital wasn't there, so they removed it in the editing. Which, and this is just like a small part of this isn't even like the point of the video was that we built this hospital or whatever. There was just a shot at the beginning, but some people saw that and like thought we did build it, which is not the intention. And so it's just a dumb mistake. Like trust me, when I saw that, I talked to the editors. I was like, come on, like, you know, I have 100 editors, and obviously we have a bunch of different channels and things like that. So it's hard for me to like speak with all of them, but it was just truthfully a silly mistake. We never said we built that hospital or anything, but I could see how some people might perceive that we were trying to like give off that we were.
While MrBeast took accountability for this error, he also addressed the structure and mission of the Beast philanthropy channel and the negative effect it had.
My YouTube channel, how do I say this where it's like I'm not trying, like, is literally owned by a 501c3. Like it's a YouTube channel that is a nonprofit, which is crazy. Like as far as I know, that's the only one. And Beast Philanthropy does so much good. And like that, you know what's the only reason people, this is what's funny, because like to the people like trying to call me evil and say we fake philanthropy, the only reason anyone even knows any of this is because we actually did a behind the scenes video on that video. So like clearly I wasn't aware of this because we did BTS and we were the ones who revealed this information. You know what I mean? So like if we were trying to hide things, like we wouldn't have done BTS on that video. That's how people got this information. So it's just like a little mistake, but it's sad because now people are using that to point at our Beast Philanthropy channel, which does a lot. I mean, it will just scroll through the videos. I mean, whether we're building schools in Africa or, I mean, and giving electricity to remote villages, or we're giving clothes to people who don't have it, or we're feeding people. I mean, it does a lot of really good projects. Now, truthfully, that channel is struggling to get brand deals because of all the slander on it, because everyone, you know, has convinced advertisers that the videos are fake and that it doesn't actually do philanthropy. And it's like, it does. And just like one little editing mistake on one of dozens of videos, like, I mean.
MrBeast also responded to allegations made by former contestant and employee Jake Weddle, who described his experience in one of MrBeast's challenges as inhumane, even using the term war crimes. The accusation was stemmed from a challenge where Jake was tasked in staying in solitary confinement for as long as possible to win a cash prize. When addressing the allegations, MrBeast first detailed the setup and the rules of the challenge.
We built a room in our studio. And then the challenge was every day you live in this room, you win $10,000. And then it was like kind of like a white padded room. There's like a pool table, a bed in there, bunch of other items, blah, blah.
MrBeast emphasized that each contestant experiences challenges differently, citing his 100-day isolation video as an example. In that challenge, participants were offered the option to turn the lights off at night in exchange for a portion of their winnings. However, the contestants declined, saying it wasn't an issue for them.
100% how something's gonna affect someone, right? So similar to the Weddle video, I just wanna lay the foundation before we go in specifically to that. Similar to that, we also did a video where we put did you see the video where we put 2 people in a room, Bailey and Susie, 100 days trapped together? So one thing that Weddle struggled with was the lights being on, and he mentioned that in the video. But Bailey and Susie, on day 20 of 100 Day Trapped together, I offered to turn the lights off for part of their prize pool. And they said no. And like the lights wasn't, I mean, I'm sure it was difficult, but it wasn't like that big of a difficulty for them. And so it's like something for them that's not that big of a difficulty for other people can be, you know, challenging and hard. And like what I'm trying to say is you never know how someone's gonna react to something, right? It's impossible to fully predict. And so that's one of these variables of these challenges, which is why we give people the ability to quit, you know what I mean? Or to leave at any point. And so in his video, you know, he went 11 days, won $110,000. Right? I believe it was 11 days. Yes.
Jake Weddle, however, struggled with the room challenge after 11 days. MrBeast explained that his team turned off the lights for Jake and even brought in a psychiatrist to ensure his well-being. Ultimately, the challenge was cut short, and Jake walked away with $110,000.
And then he decided to quit on that day. And, you know, he mentions this in his video, like around day 11 or 12. I don't know what the day is off the top of my head, but he was struggling, and so we did turn off the lights. We sent a psychiatrist in there to check in on him, and we were like, yeah, he's not doing too well, and we ended the challenge, and we paid him. Didn't go long enough where we got a video, so we didn't end up uploading it. But I think the big thing is just that's why we allow people to leave these challenges.
Despite the money won, the footage of the challenge was never uploaded because the event didn't even last long enough to make a compelling video. MrBeast later reached out to Jake after he appeared on Dogpack's video discussing his experience, offering to help in any way he could, ultimately giving Jake an additional $50,000.
Mental stress with that video or anything, and is there any way I can help? And I ended up, you know, he seemed like he really needed some financial help, so I ended up sending him $50,000 completely off camera or anything. I mean, he talked about it publicly so people know, but yeah, I just wanted to make sure he was good.
It's safe to say that the loudest voice speaking out about MrBeast was former employee Dawson French, better known as Dogpack404, who created 3 viral videos exposing and platforming ex-MrBeast employees such as Jake Weddle to speak out against MrBeast. Since publishing his videos, creators like Soggy Cereal have since spent months investigating and debunking large amounts of the allegations and claims made against MrBeast, resulting in Dogpack's credibility being questioned and his motives of posting the videos appearing as revenge. This was even more the case after there was a leaked audio from when he was fired, where it appeared Dogpack was desperate to keep his job and genuinely wanted to work at MrBeast despite what his videos portray.
He also made life-ruining allegations against Lokoya Hill, who was the person that made the decision to fire Dogpack. Here's an audio clip from the leaked firing interview at Beast.
I'm Lokoya, I'm our COO. Part of my job is you're pushing back on everything that we're saying.
Well, because you're trying to fire me, and I want to work at this company.
I'm the CEO of this company. If I'm talking, don't interrupt me. And I am telling you this is what's happening, and you're telling me that I'm wrong. I am not wrong. I've made the decision. Here, we will take care of.
I appreciate that. Can I please have a second chance?
It's not.
Just, if I'm getting paid, just let me come in and let me try to be coachable. If Hoodie changes his mind, can I? And I've been trying to get to this point of working on MrBeast for a long time. I think there are other people at the company. If I were to switch departments, that would be very happy to have me. I don't care about the salary.
It's not going to happen.
One of the most interesting parts of the interview was when Umberville asked MrBeast if he was planning on taking legal action against Dogpack for the 3 videos he posted.
You know, there's tons of examples of him intentionally manipulating things to not be true and posting it online. Tons and tons and tons of that. Soggy has basically an hour and 27-minute video, and an hour of it is just flat out proving manipulation and lies, and caused a lot of harm to my businesses. I mean, I've literally had people pull out millions of dollars and then tell me it was directly because of his video. Don't worry, I instantly was like, can you send that in writing? So, you know, if I win a case or anything, I can directly point damages. No reason why. And so, I mean, it's just unfortunate. Like, I don't want to be put in this situation, but probably gonna have to.
According to MrBeast, these videos weren't just inaccurate, they were intentionally manipulative and designed to harm his reputation and businesses.
You know, just causing harm to your business and like getting it to the point where you might have to potentially fire people because it's costing so much revenue. It's like, it's not fair to the people in my companies, you know what I mean? It's just sad, you know? It's not a thing I take joy in, but yeah.
MrBeast revealed that he has consulted with several law firms, all of whom have advised him that a lawsuit against Dogpack 404 would be an easy win. However, MrBeast remains conflicted about moving forwards, understanding the potential negative PR impact such a lawsuit could have on his channel.
Every law firm I've talked to, they're like, this would be the easiest win they've ever seen in their life. I mean, it's like crazy. I had one tell me like, you could chop up all the evidence into like sue 3 separate times and win all 3 cases because you'd have enough for each. Like, one person I was talking to, he's won like 67 out of his last 70 cases, and he's like, this would be literally the easiest case I've ever done. Like, it's because there's just so much blatant, you know, misinformation and lies spread. Like,
MrBeast also explained that his main concern isn't about silencing criticism, but rather protecting his employees and companies. He believes that allowing false claims going unchecked could set a dangerous precedent and harm the people who rely on his business.
It's like, I can't look at someone in the eyes and go, sorry, you're getting laid off because he decided to keep spreading misinformation about us. You know, go complain to Dogpack.
I understand. It's like, there's a different.
This is bigger than me. I have a lot of people, a lot of families, a lot of kids that, you know, work or are under, you know, the people I employ that work for me. Like, it's not just me.
Jimmy also pointed to documented proof of the financial harm caused by Dogpack 404's claims, stating that his businesses have already lost millions of dollars as a result of the videos. During this part of the interview, MrBeast would also go off at Oompaville when he stated he believed Dogpack had good intentions with his initial video, saying that he got completely manipulated.
You know, in the very beginning, I thought Soggy had good intentions.
Or
Dogpack, exactly, yeah. Soggy does have good intentions, in my opinion. In the very beginning, and now things obviously are, he's turned this into sort of his thing.
Good intentions, even though even the very first video literally was, what, 90% lies?
It seemed.
You got manipulated, but yeah.
Of course, yeah.
That doesn't make it good intentions.
Yeah, I'm just saying it seemed, and a lot of people also believe that.
Was it good intentions when he photoshopped a fake live stream and falsely accused me of not saying something I did say and falsely accused something? It was a good intentions when he put a king-size Feastables bar beside a regular-size Hershey's bar and didn't disclose that and then lied about us having more sugar than them. Was it? I mean, I could sit here and do this for the next 30 minutes.
I understand.
I think that's just a misconception that everyone has. It's like, there's never good intentions.
Yeah, of course, but I
watched that video and I was like, this is just lies, and everyone's like, oh my god. I was like, what?
That being, I think writing off Dogpack's entire video is unreasonable, as he did have several valid criticisms of MrBeast, such as his encouragement of gambling with his slot machine Feastables giveaway, as well as the first illegal lottery he held years prior. MrBeast also addressed the growing concerns about Lunchly, his food brand, following accusations of moldy products and rumors of a recall. The controversy around Lunchly began when several individuals, including YouTuber Rosanna Pansino, posted about receiving moldy Lunchly products. This sparked widespread claims that the product line had been recalled due to quality issues. MrBeast directly addressed these accusations, confirming that there was no recall of Lunchly products. He explained that every product containing meat or cheese undergoes inspection by the USDA before it leaves the factory.
Well, there was no recall. I mean, that's been said, which, again, it's like, it's so annoying. It's the disinformation, man, because that makes it seem like there's an actual serious problem. Oh, we're recalling Lunchlys, and there's a sign that, you know, I think Logan even did a video, if you want to throw up, where he like went to the store and that just wasn't real. That like someone put on like a door that said Lunchly has been recalled when the shelves are empty by the FDA, which was just a made up thing. Yeah, on the mold thing, here's the thing. We, every single Lunchly with cheese meat is USDA inspected. There is no mold when it leaves our factory. Like, we have the highest QC standards imaginable. Like, what do we have? Why would we ship that out? Like, that doesn't even make sense.
MrBeast also pointed out that mold is not unique to Lunchly, as it's a common issue across the prepackaged food industry. He cited thousands of similar reports involving other brands, including Lunchly's competitors.
It's just, the thing is, here's a context a lot of people leave out. Look at, I don't want to name specific brands but take a specific brand that comes into your mind when you think of something like Lunchly, something that's very similar, specific brand, I don't know, other brands, competitors, and Google their name and put the word mold behind it. You'll see thousands upon thousands of examples. And that, I think, is a key context a lot of people leave out in this, because they're acting like this is just a thing with us. Once it leaves your factory, you know, a truck that's delivery. It could technically take a sharp turn in a box fall and puncture the seal, or honestly, even something as dumb as like when it's put on the shelves at the store. Like, I can't stop someone from walking to Walmart and grabbing a lunch lid, going to the potato chip aisle, putting it there, and then like a day later, an employee going, that doesn't belong there, and put it back. And like, I mean, obviously they shouldn't do that. They should throw it away. Of
course.
But like, so there's no mold when it leaves their factories, because that's just stupid. Why would we ever let that happen? But after that point, you know, there are variables that we just can't control. And that's why every single product in that section, Google today put mold behind it.
He also stressed that while these occurrences are rare, they take each report seriously and are constantly working to improve.
But we're talking like, I mean, it's moving over 1 million units a week right now. And I'm seeing like maybe a couple examples here and there. So it's like, it's really, they would have you convinced this is like, it probably
comes with mold.
Yeah, exactly. When you're talking about very rare, and it's like, I bet you if you trace most of those cases, it'd be things like, oh, someone just like, I mean, it could even be like someone's refrigerator cut out, or they like, when they put it in their car, they like threw it in their car, and then like, you know what I mean? Like, they're just, I can't control these things, you know what I mean?
MrBeast would also address the lawsuits and rumors surrounding his upcoming Amazon Prime series, Beast Games. The yet-to-be-released game show Beast Games has already sparked backlash, with accusations ranging from unsafe working conditions to unfair labor practices. 5 anonymous contestants involved in the production filed a lawsuit claiming unsafe conditions on set. Additionally, online rumors alleged, quote, dozens of broken bones and non-union labor used to cut costs. When addressing these claims, MrBeast explained that he is unable to comment on the lawsuit itself due to ongoing litigation, but firmly denied specific allegations. Jimmy also refuted the claim that, quote, dozens of broken bones occurred, stating that his team contacted every contestant involved and found no evidence to support the accusation.
So I learned a lot of little things like that, but I think in general, a lot of it has just been blown out of proportion. Like, people have claimed like we didn't use unions because I didn't want to pay people fair money, when that was just a flat out lie. We did use unions, and like that there are dozens of broken bones, and which is like crazy to think that I'd be like, oh, 10 people broke their bones, let's keep filming, you know what I mean? Like, that doesn't even make sense. After like that claim came out, like we literally called 1,950 contestants of the 2,000. We couldn't get a hold of all 2,000. I couldn't find a single broken bone. Yeah, online it's being claimed there's dozens. I mean, there's so much even disinformation like that being spread.
MrBeast also explained that the scale of the Beast Games created unprecedented logistical challenges. With 2,000 contestants, the largest number ever for a game show, unexpected issues arose during filming. One major disruption occurred when the CrowdStrike incident caused airports across the country to shut down, leaving contestants and production scrambling to manage travel and accommodation. Another issue involved a contestant who experienced discomfort due to an allergy to the provided feminine hygiene products. MrBeast took accountability and expressed regret about the situation, explaining that the individual she told did not alert the appropriate staff about her allergy.
When we were filming, we had obviously tons of feminine care products and stuff like that, but there was one woman who was allergic to the feminine care products, and we didn't have allergen-free ones, like tampons and pads. And she told someone, I don't know who she told, I haven't been able to find it, but I mean, I believe that she did, that she was allergic, and they didn't obviously do the logical thing, which is tell us, or just drive to the local Walmart and buy some and give it to her. And so she wasn't able to get, you know, feminine care products in a reasonable amount of time, which is unacceptable.
There was also another issue regarding the $2,000 payments given to eliminated contestants, which critics suggested was hush money to discourage participants from speaking out. MrBeast denied this, explaining that the payments were intended as a thank you gesture for their participation, and not linked to any paperwork.
We gave everyone who showed up, you could literally show up and then a second later leave and receive $2,000, which with 2,000 contestants, that's $4 million.
Yeah.
And we told everyone they were gonna get $0. This is something like, you know, this is the damned if you do, damned if you don't. So we told everyone, no guaranteed money if you show up. I'm glad you asked this. No guaranteed money if you show up. Like, you could walk away with $0. But then I wanted to surprise everyone. Gave them each $2,000, $4 million, which it's a lot of money. I could have gone and just bought a mansion instead of doing that. But what's even crazier is then people tried to, not like the contestants, but the internet and, you know, their theories, tried to frame that as hush money. Like I gave them all $2,000 to like make them happy because we didn't tell them beforehand, like to surprise them. as they got eliminated. And then people are like, you just did that because of hush money. And I'm like, what does that even mean?
While MrBeast described the allegations regarding the Beast games as exaggerated, he also acknowledged that improvements could have been made and took a level of accountability that everyone was waiting for. Towards the end of the interview, Oompiffle would ask MrBeast how he feels and how he could have responded to the allegations more appropriately.
You already know what I'm about to say. We've hit it a couple of times. I wish right after we dropped the results of that investigation, I could talk a couple weeks ago. I wish I just instantly did this. Sorry, I have a little bit of a cold. The thing is, I've just never been in a controversy like this before, so.
The way MrBeast handled the allegations and his response in general made the whole situation a lot worse for him. He would even be called out on Twitter by Soggy Cereal, a creator who made a video targeting Dogpack and exposing his lies. Soggy was upset that MrBeast DM'd his video to a variety of creators, myself included, and Jimmy seemingly admits that it wasn't the greatest thing to do.
How do you interpret his responses on Twitter if you've seen them? Have you seen them?
Yeah, I've seen them. Okay. I mean, I interpret it as him just trying to be honest with his audience and just expressing how he feels. And I think, obviously he probably, in his head, if he was even being more honest, he'd probably be like, Jimmy, why don't you just say these things? Why am I saying it? And I think, obviously, now that I'm here and doing this, that will alleviate it. But I can see how it feels. Like, obviously, I saw that video and it, disproved. I mean, there are some things in there I don't agree with, and he does go pretty hard on me, so which people seem to forget. But there are a lot of things in there that he disproved, and yeah, I mean, I got excited and shot it over to a bunch of creators who covered the false information, and was just like, look, I could see how, that looks like I'm hiding behind it. Luckily, I'm here talking to you, so yeah. I don't think that will be a problem anymore. But obviously, he's not, when he tweeted that, he, doesn't know we were doing this, doesn't know this is coming out. I mean, he might now, I don't, you talk to him, but yeah, so like, I don't blame him. You know what I mean? It's a reasonable thing. Like, I think if I were to read a little between lines, he's just saying like, I don't want to be a shield, Jimmy, say something. You know what I mean? Like, actually go address things.
From the Delaware controversy to the allegations of CGI, insider trading, and unsafe work conditions, MrBeast's interview with Oompiffle wasn't perfect, but it did mention a lot of the main issues he was being criticized for. While he clarified many points and disproved several allegations, some major topics were notably absent from the conversation. One example is a CSAM claims where Dogpack alleged that inappropriate material was shared in MrBeast's work group chats. These claims were debunked when the so-called CSAM image was revealed to be a legitimate magazine cover featuring Ivanka Trump at the age of 18, but MrBeast himself did not directly discuss this during the interview. Similar to this, the Lakoya Hill situation, where a HR investigation resulted in his temporary reassignment before returning to the team, and the allegations involving James Warren were also unmentioned. While most of these claims have been discredited, leaving them out of the discussion entirely creates a gap in his transparency. At the heart of the issue is MrBeast's approach to accountability. While he has taken steps to address some controversies, he often responds in a way that feels calculated and corporate, distancing himself from the genuine connection his audience once felt. Cease and desist letters, third-party investigations, and vague public statements come off as damage control rather than true accountability. MrBeast has built an empire, but with great power comes great responsibility. It's clear that he has failed to live up to the standards his audience and the platform expects, and his unwillingness to directly confront certain criticisms or take meaningful responsibility leaves a shadow over his reputation. At the end of the day, MrBeast isn't just a YouTuber anymore. He's a brand, a business, and a public figure. And while it's easy to dismiss criticism as jealousy or sensationalism, there are real legitimate concerns that he needs to address. Until then, his reputation will be damaged forever.
But even after the response, MrBeast's problems were not limited to allegations. His product started becoming part of the story too. How do you go from launching the highest grossing YouTuber products ever to creating one of the biggest flops in the platform's history? One that's not only failed to make any real money, but also became a permanent stain on the reputations of the three names behind its creation, with everyone on the internet, including other YouTubers and even licensed doctors, calling out everything wrong with it.
Lunchly turkey contains only 230 calories, which would mean a kid would need to eat about 2.7 portions to consume enough calories. And if they did that, they'd get nearly 1,300 milligrams of sodium, which is also significantly over the USDA standards. So they'd be either under eating calories, or overeating sodium.
After the success of their billion-dollar chocolate and energy drink empires, MrBeast, KSI, and Logan Paul thought that by combining both of their brands, they could corner the kids' lunch market as well. And thus, Lunchly, the allegedly healthier Lunchables alternatives, was launched. Unfortunately for the three, unlike Prime or Feastables, Lunchly flopped harder than NFTs, becoming the most criticized YouTuber product within hours of its release. And the trio's terrible response to said criticism didn't help much either. To understand why Lunchly took over the internet as soon as it launched, we have to look no further than the faces behind its creation: MrBeast, Logan Paul, and KSI. Each of the three had massive loyal fan bases, and at the time owned billion-dollar food and beverage brands that were practically printing money. So when they announced a new food product together, it was certain to draw some attention. But if there's one thing that all of these creators weren't known for, that was creating products that prioritized kids' nutrition or health. MrBeast's Feastables was a chocolate brand that reportedly earned over $250 million in 2024. Before that, he also had his own delivery-only fast food restaurant called MrBeast Burgers. And it doesn't take an expert to know that neither of the two were exactly healthy. Similarly, Logan Paul and KSI's beverage brand Prime, which sold drinks containing as much caffeine as 6 cans of Coke, was even more successful, earning more than $1 billion in annual revenue. So why did these creators who sold sugary sweets, fast food, and energy drinks suddenly want to become involved in children's nutrition? Well, it probably had something to do with Lunchables' $1.8 billion annual sales. Though when Lunchly was first announced on September 16, 2024, they tried to market it as a better-for-you alternative, a healthier choice that was good for kids. The three raved about how Lunchly was much better than its competition every chance they got.
Lunchly versus Lunchables. Turkey stack 'em. 310 calories.
230 calories.
21 grams of sugar.
Only 7 grams of sugar.
If you look at this close up, you can already tell which one has better ingredients.
The product website even had a side-by-side comparison chart between Lunchables and Lunchly, highlighting how Lunchly had better nutritional values, and compared to the competition has real cheese, more electrolytes, and lower sugar. And at least at first, this marketing worked. During its launch day, major news outlets parroted the same phrasing of this product being quote healthier and quote better for you. But the only ones who got fooled by those claims were probably kids or adults who barely skimmed through the headline, because those who actually took the time to read the nutritional labels on Lunchly, or even just zoomed in on what it actually included, saw right through this manipulative marketing gimmick. One of the first big names to call out Lunchly's insincere intention was YouTuber DanTDM, who upon seeing the product launch tweeted, "What happened to YouTubers, man? I can't not say anything anymore. This is selling stuff for the sake of making money. Simple. How does this benefit their fans? This is selling crap to kids who don't know better than to trust the people who are selling it to them. Do better." Dan was no nutritionist himself, but being a father to 2 young kids and having a very young fandom as a Minecraft creator, Dan had every right to voice out his opinions on this new food product designed for kids. And he wasn't alone in doing so. In addition to hundreds of thousands of regular people, Dan's stance was also supported by other YouTubers, including Jojo Josiah, Squiddy, PlainRock124, and even PewDiePie, someone MrBeast admired openly.
Opinion on Lunchly. Yeah, I only found out about it yesterday. Like, you can tell none of them are parents. Because you should not feed your kids that garbage. Like, what the fuck?
But YouTubers weren't the only ones who were alarmed by what they saw. Lunchly's quote healthier claims were so blatantly misleading that even doctors had to step in to stop the spread of misinformation. Dr. Mike, a prominent medical YouTuber, was one of the first to make a video addressing Lunchly's controversy. In his video, he acknowledged that Lunchly's healthier claims might hold some truth on a technical level, but he also pointed out that Lunchly's nutritional content didn't meet the standard standards set by the USDA for school lunches, and why that was an issue.
I just think if a company was truly interested in creating a healthier lunch kit for kids, the USDA standards should be the minimum starting requirements. Otherwise, we're simply propagating the problem even further.
But as Logan himself later admitted in his so-called response video, selling quote healthy wasn't even the brand's main goal in the first place, further proving that the trio's entire healthier branding was nothing but empty buzzwords. Dr. Mike eventually created a second video about the situation, but before that, another reputable medical professional joined the discussion online, Dr. Brian Sutterer, a well-known sports doctor. He quoted Logan's tweet comparing the nutritional facts of Lunchly and Lunchables, stating, "Sodium getting rebranded as electrolytes will be taught in marketing textbooks one day." He later expanded on this claim in a YouTube video, explaining that kids who prepackaged meals like Lunchly are marketed to don't necessarily need electrolyte drinks in their daily diet. By this point, the Lunchly drama had completely taken over the internet, tanking the brand's image and directly hitting its sales before it even had a chance to make money. If this had happened to any other reasonable brand, they would have owned up, fixed the issues, or at least tried to rebrand before the whole thing collapsed. But this seemingly obvious solution didn't cross any of the Lunchly creators' minds. Instead, they did the exact opposite, dismissing genuine concerns as nothing but hate for farming clicks and views, and aggressively retaliating against anyone who tried to prove otherwise. Now, credit where credit is due, MrBeast's response to the allegations was a bit more sensible than his peers, writing, "Lunchables sells hundreds of millions of units and countless people eat it. Our goal is to give people a better for you alternative to it. Obviously, eating fresh chicken and broccoli is healthier, but if someone is going to eat a pre-made meal like this, which millions of people do through Lunchables, then I think giving them a higher quality version at roughly the same price is a net good, in my opinion." But while MrBeast was smart enough to take a logical, measured approach to the situation, KSI and Logan Paul seemed determined to ruin everything. Logan, fueled by his pride as an energy drink owner, decided to debate an actual sports medicine doctor on the meaning of electrolytes. He responded to Dr. Sutterer's tweet claiming that they were just rebranding electrolytes, stating, "Crazy how even a sports medicine doctor can't tell the difference between sodium and potassium," and even went so far as to call the doctor an idiot. To which Dr. Sutterer clapped back once again, saying, "Crazy how a professional wrestler wants to start a debate with me about his electrolyte drink. But if the replies weren't turned off, maybe we could." Naturally, the internet jury quickly declared Logan as the loser in this one, especially after Dr. Sutterer uploaded that video explaining what electrolytes actually meant. Though nobody really expected anything better from Logan, the guy who went as far as using his laboring wife and newborn to promote his product. But Logan's embarrassing moments online were nothing compared to the absolute mess KSI dragged himself into following the backlash. Because instead of defending Lunchly against the allegations, he focused all his attention on trying to paint Dan, the first to call out Lunchly, as just a bitter YouTuber who hated the product for no reason.
What happened to YouTubers, man? I can't not say anything anymore. This is selling stuff for the sake of making money. Simple.
I'm sure there's just been an influx of Dan TDM fans just lowering the IQ of this fucking Reddit, man.
Ironically, in his attempt to do so, all he did was prove to everyone just how closed-minded and out of touch he really was. Dan made a single tweet, and KSI was in full throttle of criticizing Dan non-stop, from mocking his old toy merch to bringing up Dan's previous candy sponsorships, even though KSI himself has worked with two of the companies he mocked in his tweets. When another creator, Kai Cenat, collaborated with McDonald's 2 weeks after Lunchly's release, KSI somehow found a way to bring up Dan again. Surprisingly, a few people did side with KSI on this perspective, like FaZe Banks, who wrote, "Hate to say it, but the same people who were bitching about MrBeast, KSI, and Logan Paul launching a Lunchables competitor are celebrating Kai Cenat's McDonald's collab. For the record, I think both are great, just some of you are so painfully fake, it's impossible not to call out. But anyone with even a shred of critical thinking could could see just how these two scenarios were completely different, as one of the top replies to Banks stated, "To be fair, it's just a meal at McDonald's, just a fun little gimmick, not promoting anything else but a chicken Big Mac. Lunchly is just straight up a Lunchables competitor that's marketed as healthier, but shit ain't healthy regardless of it being healthier." This double standards debate also encouraged Dr. Mike to share his perspective on the brand once more.
I think if you're making a candy, while yes, overconsumption of candy and added sugar is a problem, I think a candy is not considered a health food. But when you say Lunchly is healthy or a healthier alternative, that's making claims that if debunked, you would face some criticism.
But while the fake healthy food scandal was still burning up the internet, Lunchly got hit with an even bigger, disgusting disaster. During its launch, a major component of Lunchly's branding was its inclusion of, quote, real cheese, when the competition could only call theirs cheese product.
Our pizza uses real cheese. Theirs, as it says on their box, is mozzarella pasteurized prepared cheese product. They can't even call it real cheese.
But this bold flex backfired hard, when, just a month after this product started hitting the shelves, reports of customers finding moldy cheese inside unopened Lunchly boxes began surfacing online.
Are you serious? Oh no!
One of the first to expose the issue online was Rosanna Pansino, a popular baking YouTuber. While filming a comparison video between Lunchly and Lunchables, she unexpectedly discovered mold inside the Lunchly pack. After filming, Rosanna posted about her experience on Twitter, with a sarcastic caption that stated, "Just opened my first Lunchly ever. So much mold. What flavor of mold did you guys get?" Followed by a more sincere tweet reading, "Please be careful everyone, this is not safe and not okay, especially for children." However, while Rosanna was well respected in her field, many questioned the credibility of her claims. After all, she already had a fairly long and very vocal track record of criticizing MrBeast prior to Lunchly's existence. Some even accused Rosanna of flat out lying or just being overly dramatic because of her personal bias against MrBeast, with one person writing, "One moldy cheese doesn't mean the whole brand is unsafe. Let's not blow one incident out of proportion." Many streamers also didn't believe her allegation for the same reason, but in their attempt to debunk Rosanna, they only validated her claims. A Spicy Cow, for instance, took it upon himself to find the truth, and it didn't take long for them to see it for themselves.
No way! What? No, chat, there's actually mold. That's 100% mold. I'm so sorry. Oh no, do you see it right there? Do you see it? Sealed and it's molded.
But that was nothing compared to what the streamer BMC found live on his broadcast. Literal spores growing out of the cheese inside an unopened Lunchly.
There's actually no way. No.
There were still the occasional outliers who tried to frame these discoveries as nothing more than clout-chasing attempts, with one fan writing, "Staged and fake reaction from this clip, I need more." The person on the left looked sus, grabbed that Lunchable, and almost like they knew already. But by this point, reports of mold had spread across the internet. It reached a point where even the FDA confirmed that they've been notified of the issue, including reports of people getting sick from eating it. That being said, finding mold in pre-packaged kits doesn't automatically prove manufacturer negligence. In an interview with Oompaville, MrBeast provided a simple explanation of how this sort of issue can be out of their control.
Once it leaves your factory, you know, a truck that's delivering it could technically take a sharp turn and a box fall and puncture the seal, or honestly, even something as dumb as like when it's put on the shelves at the store. Like, I can't stop someone from walking to Walmart and grabbing a Lunchly,
right,
going to the potato chip aisle, putting it there, and then like a day later an employee going, "That doesn't belong there," and put it back. And like, I mean, obviously they shouldn't do that, they should throw it away, of course. But like, so there's no mold when it leaves our factories, because that's just stupid. Why would we ever let that happen? But after that point, you know, there are variables that we just can't control.
But what made the whole mold thing worse than it already was Logan Paul and KSI's tone-deaf response to the issue. Instead of addressing it properly, they openly laughed about the mold controversy on their podcast.
Yeah, like, I like my cheese moldy, bro.
And in a separate video, Logan even called Rosanna Pansino
an attention-hungry little clout goblin who has made it her entire identity to speak negatively on all things MrBeast.
At the peak of the mold controversy, rumors of a Lunchley recall also began circulating online, but both Logan and the FDA denied that any recall had actually happened. Still, by that point, the damage to the brand was already done. A good portion of the people purchasing Lunchley were buying it just to see if the mold rumors were true for themselves. And considering how both MrBeast and the Logan KSI duo had previously bragged about record-breaking sales for their other brands, the complete silence around Lunchley's sales figures spoke volumes. Lunchley was, by all metrics, a commercial flop. But there was more to this downfall than the controversy surrounding Lunchley itself. You see, KSI and Logan Paul's Prime, which was one of their major components that separates Lunchley from its competition, also experienced a massive downfall, and naturally, this impacted the demand for Lunchley's kits as well. During its peak, Prime managed to sell out 1 billion bottles in less than 2 years, but the brand has experienced an over 40% sales drop in 2025, with their UK revenue being down as much as 70%. But honestly, no one's surprised, because if history tells us anything, these creators are great at making products that trend, not products that have enough value to build a loyal fan base. Way before the Feastables hype in 2020, MrBeast launched MrBeast Burgers, which went from nationwide excitement to getting shut down prematurely due to a relentless wave of customer complaints, ranging from receiving raw food, late or missing deliveries, poor food quality, and non-existent consistency. Prime is also no stranger to similar complaints. In fact, prior to Lunchley's launch, Prime was already dealing with 9 separate lawsuits, with accusations ranging from deceptive marketing and non-disclosure of potentially harmful chemicals to falsely advertising the amount of caffeine on its label. But in Lunchley's case, even the hype that hard-carried Feastables and Prime's success was barely present. During its launch, both MrBeast and Logan Paul were in the middle of fresh controversies that negatively affected their public image. For Jimmy, the infamous Dogpack 404 allegations had just surfaced online, painting Jimmy in a questionable light, and Logan Paul was still under fire for CryptoZoo, the massive alleged crypto scam he promoted that caused fans to lose millions of dollars. By the time Lunchley rolled out, the trio's reputation and brands were already losing momentum, and although Logan Paul and KSI have openly admitted to loving the attention of haters in the past, that's not the type of attention you want when it comes to food products, and the downfall of Lunchley proves that. And just when the audience fatigue should have slowed things down, the exposure cycle started all over again. MrBeast has once again found himself in the midst of controversy, this time for something completely unexpected. A seemingly harmless Minecraft civilization video with $50,000 on the line, from AI Russian trolls and poor moderation to allegations of bribery. Today, we'll be looking into what actually happened, and if it's as big of a deal as the headlines would lead you to believe. On the 27th of December 2025, MrBeast released a video to his gaming channel titled 1000 Players Simulate Civilization, Boys vs Girls. This video was a collaboration with the renowned Minecraft YouTuber Ish, who's known for his Minecraft civilization videos, and who released the modern-day YouTube classic 1000 Players Simulate Civilization, Rich and Poor in July last year, which I'm sure many of you have seen, considering the video garnered over 36 million views. If by chance you've never watched a Minecraft civilization video, the concept is to hold a large multiplayer event in an attempt to simulate a human civilization within Minecraft, from forming economies, alliances, or even starting wars. The videos are generally presented as an experiment. However, the uploads themselves are more of a reality TV storytelling experience, where you follow what happened as it happened. These videos include main characters, storylines, and arcs, making them highly engaging even for those not fans of Minecraft itself. Now, combining the massive scale of MrBeast's productions with the legacy and storytelling of Ish should have been everything the video needed to be a massive success, and on the surface, it was. The competition within the video took place over 8 real-life days, with players logging in between 3 to 6 hours each and every day. The purpose of the event was to have 2 separate teams of 500 boys and 500 girls to build separate civilizations in opposite sides of a massive wall, with the goal of checking in after 7 days to see what side accomplished the most, with the winning team splitting a $50,000 prize. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen the video yet, but the boys group won. Based on how it was presented, it appeared as though the girls' civilization collapsed due to internal drama. Their leader went missing, factions turned against each other, and by the time the wall came down, they were scattered and unprepared, resulting in the boys group winning the contest. What should have been a non-controversial, fun, and unique video for MrBeast and Ish quickly flipped into controversy within hours of the upload, with the primary issues around the video stemming from its boys vs girls format. Having the video framed as boys vs girls immediately created an incentive to sabotage the experiment rather than genuinely compete. If you think about it, if you're a male player who wants to win, then there's 2 options. Either play fair and hope your team outperforms the other, or play dirty and infiltrate the other team to destroy them from within. After all, in order to win the competition, you needed to have the most players survive by the end of the experiment. But here's where things get genuinely concerning. According to several of the participants, a group of Russian men used AI-generated images of women to pass the verification process and enter the girls' team. These infiltrators allegedly killed players for days prior to being caught, and left signs with swastikas and hateful messages in Russian, while also completely disrupting the girls' ability to form alliances, which is crucial for the success of the team. The paranoia surrounding fake accounts attempting to infiltrate the female team led to players on the female team being wrongly suspected simply due to their voices. According to accounts, which we will get into shortly, this caused fights and stress within the group. So not only did these infiltrators harm the competition directly, they also managed to create an environment where even legitimate players were turning on each other. In addition to the deepfake AI infiltrator issue, there was also allegedly participants on the boys group who were bribing the girls with DoorDash deliveries in exchange for team killing other female players. While these claims are difficult to verify, it doesn't help that others have also claimed girls sold their accounts to boys in order to sabotage the competition even more. I want to note here that these claims aren't fully verified, so they could easily be misinformation. Now, that being said, let's look at the specific testimonies that brought this all to light, with a Twitter thread from Zavi Gamer, a VTuber who participated in the event going viral, exposing several key issues that allegedly took place. I was in this event. Please keep in mind that we only had like 3 to 6 hours of server time each day. The girls' side fell apart for some reason. We unironically had Russian guys use AI images / deepfakes to cheat their way into the girls' side, and then just start mass murdering every girl they could see. This went on for IRL days out of a week-long competition. These guys also left signs around our side of the map with swastikas and sexist messages. One girl on our side, Makio, independently looked into the socials of these girls who were murdering other girls and found their YouTube channel and reported it to staff. I think it's important to note that there wasn't even a way for us to report things in the Discord server until she and other girls mass pinged staff for this functionality in the Discord server. I'm not sure if it was ever confirmed, but there were also reports of girls selling their accounts to guys as well, so the guys could sabotage the girls. The girls' side had trans girls on it. There is nothing wrong with this, except after it became common knowledge that there were Russian guys pretending to be girls, and rumors of girls selling their accounts to guys, a lot of girls began reporting / targeting our trans girlies as infiltrators, just because of the pictures of their voices, and it started this huge fight on the girls' side about transphobia and such. So many girls died to traps set by fake girls. It took staff days to look into it, determine if those traps were set by fake girls or real girls, and return these girls from their wrongful deaths. But by then, the event was almost over. These girls who were returned had next to no time to prepare for war, much less time to make connections and alliances with their fellow girls. This was marketed initially as a civilization event, not a PvP event. There was such a low amount of girls applying initially that they started to just send Discord server invites to any girl who showed interest in playing on a MrBeast Minecraft server. The amount of girls who were invited who didn't even know how to make a crafting table was insane. No hate to them, of course, but MrBeast and his team knew that if the wall came down, boys would win because they had top Minecraft players on their side, and the girls had people who didn't even know how to make a crafting table on theirs, much less how to make a sword. I didn't know if I wanted to say something or not because I didn't want to diminish my chances of being invited to another MrBeast event, but nobody else is speaking up and I'm just seeing too much hate on the girls to not say something. I wish they would have said something about all of this in the actual video instead of leaving a vague thing in their description about cheaters being banned. This tweet went completely viral, garnering over 15 million views and 195,000 likes at the time of making this video. But not only did it go viral, it opened the floodgates for numerous other contestants to speak out about the event and the issues they faced whilst participating, with multiple participants corroborating Xavi's claims, with Crazy Gruber stating, "I was part of the event too, and met the Russian boys head on. Curious about their early diamond armor, as no one else at the time didn't even have a full set of diamond armor and tools. I approached them being friendly, asking how they did it, only for them to tell me to suck their D. They followed me to my group and placed swastikas and offensive signs around my group's base. Luckily, the mod packs that the MrBeast team had us download had a mod to record stuff, so it helped. I sent reports and a group of screenshots as they were taking a group photo in front of our base. Mostly everyone in that screenshot got banned. This event was really toxic on the girls' side, that people were sending death threats in Discord or straight up being toxic to people because they interacted with a boy. Overall, they should have took some steps to prevent things as it was really bad, and it's a shame that they didn't. And yeah, there was a lot of new girls. There was a girl that didn't even know how to pick up water in a bucket. Based on this tweet, MrBeast's team were aware of the issue and were taking what action they could at the time, such as banning players who were caught sabotaging their own team. Another user and reporter of Beast News, Makio, responded to Xavi's thread with even more information, which revealed that the internal issues of this video went far beyond a few guys infiltrating the female team. Reading, Hi, I was part of the event as the news reporter of Beast News, Makio. There's way too much stuff that happened during the event. I'm afraid to speak up, but I think it needs to be said. 1. Yes, there was a lot of issues that happened behind the scenes. The Russian guys pretending to be girls were true. They were using AI, which the verification was just show your face and write your username and stuff. I was able to investigate them all and basically helped, and was able to see their Discord server. Their goal was to basically be in a big video for content. In total, there was actually over 10 plus men pretending to be girls, and they were all friends. This resulted into me dying like 3 times and having to be revived because I was being targeted from that. But when I reported it all directly to staff in DMs, they were dealt with pretty quickly. But sadly, they were really understaffed. 2. There was a lot of death and having to revives through people glitching and lagging, making it even harder to report it all, having to fix it all, considering that all the staffs are heavily understaffed and overworked. 3. I'm not going to defend the staff that much, but they did allow bribing. This means that there was a lot of bribing with real cash from the guy's side. I'm so sorry about what happened with all of the harassments from the girls, and everything that happened. In the end though, the staffs have taken criticism and apologized about what happened, and did plan out for compensation and improvements. Despite the numerous accounts from the female side that the whole event was an unfair failure, there were other participants who came out in defense of the MrBeast team, and how the issues were handled, going as far as to claim that the women coming out are primarily doing so because they lost and are jealous, such as participant Just Quacko stating, "As a winner from the guy's side, I want to defend MrBeast and his team, as most of what this girl said is coming out of jealousy from not winning. I'm going to respond to every claim. 1. Most of the girls who got killed before the wall dropped were killed by Foxley. The staff were very helpful in reviving people who died in unfair ways. 2. While this is true, most of this got resolved in the first day or two, and you can't expect MrBeast to be responsible for the actions of 1,000 different people. 3. There was an active reporting system since it started. I know this because a few of my friends/allies who died by lag, or another unfair way on day 1, were able to report it and get revived. 4. This is most likely not true. The guy's team was already competitively better, and I don't think even if that happened that the outcome of the event would have been any different. 5. Not gonna speak on this topic too much, but yeah, like 30% of the girls' side weren't biologically female, and that definitely served a part in not keeping the girls' side united. 6. The time the wall dropped got delayed by a few hours because the girls kept complaining they had no time to prepare. Everyone on the server had more than enough time to prepare, and you should have been preparing since day 1. 7. Part 1. This is wrong. Since the start, it was marketed as a welcome to 1,000 players civilization boys vs girls, which obviously means it's a PvP event. Hoodie, the head of MrBeast Gaming, also told everyone multiple times that it is a MrBeast video and not an ish civilization event, so it isn't going to follow the average role-playing dynamic of a civilization event. 7. Part 2. I also wasn't the most experienced Minecraft player when it was first announced to me. I had to re-download Minecraft to play it and had a few days to practice. If you're complaining about some of the girls being horrible at the game, then that's just a skill issue at the end of the day. The following day, Quacko also shared an additional screenshot to counter the claim that it took 6 days for the MrBeast team to ban the AI Russians, with the image including an announcement made on day 2 within the girls' chat. Reading, I've seen this a few times and want to squash it now. There was a small group of players that snuck in using AI and deepfaked videos and pictures. All of those players have been removed, and we are monitoring for any new situations. Those players had items that will be redistributed to the girls team sometime during day 2. Remember, you are playing to be the team with the most amount of alive players by the end of the event. The banned players will be replaced by the next girl that chronologically tried to join the server on day 0. The amount of diamonds on the map, specifically on the girls' side, is over 100,000. The amount those players held was less than 1%, lol. There are so many resources in the mountains, nobody died by another player, and we will consider this largely closed. We will continue to monitor for any more instances and replace, but only in verified and proven instances, not based off screenshots, in-game chat, or their voice sounding deep, but verified proof. Now, to be fair, this does suggest that the MrBeast team identified and addressed the deepfake issue relatively quickly. The question is whether the damage was already done by that point. Quacko's tweet received a negative reaction from Twitter, with a comment ratioing his thread stating, "What this girl said is coming out of jealousy from not winning." Just off this line, anything you say after has no value, with Quacko responding by stating, "It is. If the girls won like they usually do in these events, this tweet wouldn't have been made." Other replies would share the same criticisms against Quacko. So what did MrBeast actually do about all of this? Well, publicly, not that much. The video description addressed the issue in a vague way, stating, "We had thousands of players try to join our first large-scale multi-day competition civilization event in a first-come first-served basis. We accepted the first 500 boys and 500 girls who joined in chronological order on the Minecraft server when it went live. If a player broke the rules they agreed to in any way or lied on their application about any information to try and sabotage other players, they were banned by the staff who were monitoring 24/7 after an investigation. Their actions were reversed and players they killed were revived, and they were replaced by the next boy or girl in line who tried to join the server earlier, in chronological order." But here's where things get interesting. MrBeast initially made a tweet to promote the video. However, after the controversy started unraveling, the tweet disappeared. This was likely done to separate the controversy directly from the MrBeast brand, which makes sense from a business perspective. The more I looked into this situation, the more I felt bad for everyone involved. First of all, managing 1,000 players over 8 days is a genuinely massive task. At this scale, it seems almost inevitable for bad actors to get through, making this less about whether the problems occurred in the first place, and more about how they were handled. Secondly, the boys vs girls format was always going to attract this kind of sabotage. Creating a competition with a clear opposing team with financial incentive is basically inviting people to cheat. Not that that's an excuse for this happening in the first place, but it's a predictable outcome. Where the core issue lies seems to be in the fact the final video was presented in a misleading way, displaying the girls' group collapse as organic drama, rather than acknowledging the external sabotage or messiness of the whole experiment. Whilst it's a given that moments will be cut, multiple participants claimed that moments were cherry-picked to create a narrative that didn't reflect reality. Before the allegations came out, it appeared as if the girls were simply disorganized and overdramatic, as if that's the only reason they lost. If the MrBeast team managed to work the fact there were infiltrators into the plot, this whole situation likely would have never become so controversial, and they likely could have ended it on a positive note by planning a part 2 with safety guards in place to avoid it happening the same way again. So is this as big of a deal as the headlines suggest? Honestly, it's complicated. Was there poor moderation? It does seem like it. Did deepfakes enable sabotage? Apparently so. And did trans women face unfair suspicion? According to participants, yes. But is this evidence of malice from MrBeast himself or his team? I don't think so. This project had the potential to be a super fun and wholesome event. And despite the controversies, it made for an entertaining video on the MrBeast gaming channel. Based on what we know so far, it looks to be more like a production that wasn't prepared for how badly people would try to exploit the format, rather than a deliberate or bad faith handling of the event. If anything, this is a warning for anyone running large-scale online events. AI is making identity verification much harder, and formats that incentivize sabotage are going to attract exactly that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.